What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity buck bumble. What about now? It's time to rock with the biggity buck bumble. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumble. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumble. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumble. Bum to the bum to the bum to the bass. Bum to the bum to the bumble. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot boot. Bump to the bass to the bass bass. Bump to the boot to the boot to the boot. Bump to the bass to the bass bass.
All right, it's time. Another week. ZTGD Radio. This is episode 840 for April 7th, 2025.
And you know what else? I knew it was episode 840 before you even said it.
How did you know? You don't even pay attention to the numbers anymore.
I'm just joking. I had no idea that it was a.
I was going to say, don't lie. Oh, but all the shows we have Anthony.
Yeah, I'm here.
We got the Wombat.
Yes, sir.
And I think Terrence will join us in a minute. He's probably going to yell at me when he gets here because he's mad at me. But
yeah, well. Quit telling the truth.
Oh, it's going to be a big show. It's going to be a big show. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm sure everybody is excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll kick it off with what you playing, Anthony.
Yeah, so I can finally talk about it because the embargo lifts tomorrow. I'm not going to have my review done, but I mean, I don't even really know how to write about this game. Going into Game Pass, it's called Blueprints.
Get
it, like blueprints?
Yeah, and it's a puzzle game. I'm going to compare it to The Witness in a sense, but it's good.
It's like the dead-ass Wombat. Get it?
Yeah, you like that?
I was just plowing through, but thanks for stopping, Ken.
That's what I do.
I just want to make sure everybody gets it.
We got it. we fucking got it. The game is all about... Okay, alright. Here's where I lose Ken. But Ken, I want you to still try it.
It's on Game Pass. I'll download it when it comes. I think it's Wednesday or something.
I'm gonna preempt you with something.
Oh, that's
still
never
want
good.
you to play it. You want to guess what it is?
Well, I mean, there's like 4 check boxes where I would be like, no, I'm out.
I think you can pull the one, Ken.
Is it Rogue?
Sure, that's exactly kind of what I was gonna say, yes. Here's the reason why I say that. The idea is that the house that you are entering, the goal is to reach the 46th room. I've gotten close once.
So it's more Rogue as in like you start over when you fail, kind of thing.
So what happens is every time you enter a room, you lose a step. And when you're out of steps for the day, I think you start with 50. And there's items that can increase it. But every step you take...
Every move you make.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, we'll be using this as a wedding song, even though it's about stalking. Yes. It's true.
I know, but if you're ever waiting at a party, it's like, let Anthony bring you down. Oh, I love this song. It's about stalking.
How about don't have that as your wedding song? Especially when the guy who wrote it is like, yeah, it's a little weird to have that as your wedding song.
By the way, Anthony, blueprints are what you use to like build a house or a building or something. That's
fucking. I hate this podcast already. Can we have Terrence so I can make fun of somebody?
God damn it.
So, you place down rooms. Your first room is always the, give me a second here. I have the exact name of it. The entrance hall. I have so far, and there's always an antechamber right before room 46. But you have to unlock it, which is based on what rooms you kind of pull from a drawing list or whatever. It's essentially behind the scenes, it'll pull certain rooms out more if you have other rooms in the house already. So, if you want to see the pump room, you need to have a pool. It's a very interesting concept because it keeps recontextualizing itself. And when you make a step forward, it feels like you've actually achieved something, which is something I did not feel with The Witness. I didn't feel like it was recontextualizing itself. It was just, here's a different puzzle using the same system, and now I've joined these two puzzles together. I get into a room I've never been in before, I read a note on the table, and suddenly every room I've gone through, there's something else I'm looking at in it. There's certain unlocks, like permanent unlocks. I've just recently, like right before we started, unlocked an extra $1 that I start with every day. I know that seems minimal, but there's things to buy in this game. So it's interesting in the way that like the permanent upgrades are all outside the house, but the context is that your relative has died, and the house is yours, but you have to reach room 46. That is part of the inheritance rules, I guess, that they can just establish. And the room shifts every day, and you're not allowed to take items out of the house. So there are ways to keep items with certain rooms, and that's what's kind of interesting about this, is every time I get a new room, it's potentially recontextualizing everything I've done up until that point. There is a bit of luck involved, unfortunately, but if you use your time wisely, you can always make a step forward. For everybody that ends up playing this, I would focus on the left side of the house first. That's all I'm going to say. Because there's a permanent unlock that you can get. But it's just a very fascinating game of simplicity at first, and then every time you solve even a small puzzle in a room that just gets you an extra key, because you don't need a key to unlock every door, just some doors are locked. I'm like, oh shit, I figured that out. And now that puzzle that I was doing for free keys every time, that was super easy, has now become extremely difficult, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm supposed to be doing anymore. So yeah, it's hard. It's one of those games that's like, wow, this is really hard to talk about without just spoiling stuff. But even then, I'm not sure what's going on. There's a puzzle that I'm solving outside of the house, but I haven't added to that in a while, and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to add stuff to it. And I'm doing something completely unrelated right now, I think, maybe, because a note kind of pointed out some stuff in certain rooms, and now I'm trying to get certain rooms to spawn just to see those things in there, just to figure out what I'm trying to do with even the information that I'm getting from that. I guess if you have any questions, I can answer them. It's very hard to talk about and be like, you should play this. It's just, the thing that's different to me, this is the biggest selling point, is I don't feel like, and I guess, what's his name from Braid, and Jonathan Blow, I guess he did some, like, the creator of this game, like, showed him it to get his thoughts or whatever, but, it doesn't feel like the creator is constantly looking over my shoulder and being like, aren't I smart? I'm such a genius.
I feel like there should be a feature in The Witness as like a director commentary of Jonathan Blow, watch what you do, and he'd be like, you're stupid.
You're liking my game for the wrong reasons. Soldier Boy said he liked this game, but he doesn't get it.
Why can't I find my game on the top sellers? Jonathan, I have news for you.
Yeah. No, God.
Yeah. Shit.
It doesn't feel like that, which is nice. And there's just a lot of detail and like care that's gone into this game. Like, there are rooms that are just literally, you walk through them, they're just hallways. There's one that's like an unfinished hallway. And just the fact that it's like clearly in the process of being painted still. It's just a nice touch. It looks like the hallways don't look like just generic hallways all the time. Every one that you can spawn is slightly different from the other. And, like, they could have just been like, yeah, here's your hallway piece. Have fun. It's like, they all have their own character. They all feel different. And what I really thought was neat, this is not part of the game. This is no spoil, to my knowledge, anyways. At this point, then maybe it changes. But like, a lot of rooms change based on where you put them. So like, the outside of the house, you would have windows. So if you put a room inside, it doesn't have windows in it. If you put it on the outside, they will have windows, and you'll be able to see the rest of the estate. And it's just a neat touch that it could have been forgotten and you probably wouldn't notice, but it's just neat that it's there. I appreciate that a lot, because I didn't think about that until I placed a hallway against the outside, and the hallway is usually just, blocked off, and when it was on the outside of the house, sunlight was coming through, and I was like, oh fuck, that's really fucking cool. Yeah, so any questions, I guess? I don't
I'm assuming it's like your standard like first person puzzle kind of game.
Yeah, it's a first person game. Okay, so let me just so you walk in. I'm just gonna ruin this.
Sit right down.
Yeah. So let me just get back to the main chamber. That's always the same from the beginning. So you walk in. Well, actually, you don't even walk in. The camera zooms across the garden out front, and it starts you first person in the entrance hall, and you can walk up, and there's a note on the table that says like, open only in the event of my death, and then it kind of contextualizes the rules of the game. And then there's a little card off to the side that explains that like every time you enter a room, you lose one footstep, and when you don't have any more, call it a day. And there's 3 locked doors. You walk up to a door, you interact with it. I'm using an Xbox controller, so Ken, you'll probably have the exact same control scheme as me. You go and click on the door, and it'll pop up 3 rooms that you can choose. And some rooms have exits, some rooms are dead ends, right? Like the closet doesn't have a exit out of it. So you can choose which room to spawn. But you're trying to make a house that does lead into each other. So you can choose a room, then when you enter that room, so like just on this run, I had a hallway. Then I walk into the hallway, and there's 2 doors in the hallway. And then I can choose which room to spawn off of that. Some rooms will say, like, oh, this room has a key, or a gem, or a coin, etc. And, like, the keys unlock doors. The gems allow you to, like, choose special rooms that have, like, stronger effects than just having random items. And the coins allow you to buy stuff. And so you're choosing stuff based off of that. But then there's also puzzle elements inside some of those rooms. And some rooms only work if you have another room spawned, and stuff like that. So you're trying to set up the circumstances to solve certain puzzles each run, rather than I'm trying to just get to the end at every run, right? Which is a bit different, and I feel like is why you shouldn't have the same issue that you have normally with rogues, where it's just you keep trying to get to the end. It's like, no, there are puzzles you have to solve clearly before you can just get to the end of this game. And you're trying to basically stack the deck, not to use card analogies, but because you hate those too.
Oh yeah, I was going to say you already turned off Ken.
Yeah, but you're trying to stack the deck in your favor. So like, a certain room might give the opportunity for more green space rooms to show up, because certain rooms have colored borders. So there's the green. Hold on, let me pull up my. So there's your standard blue rooms, which are all different. Some have effects, some don't. There's your purple bedrooms. Self-explanatory. They usually give you extra footsteps because the idea is that you've napped. hallways are orange, nothing exciting there. Your green rooms are generally green, so there's plants. They usually have airspace, so either through the roof or off the side. Then there's your shops, which are yellow, and then your red rooms are usually negative effect rooms. So, like, not to spoil all of them, because I don't want to do that. The first red room you'll probably get is the lavatory. It's just a dead end. There's nothing in there. There's nothing to look at. It's just a bathroom. But then the chapel takes a coin every time you enter the room. Of course it does. Welcome to church.
Of course it does.
So there's some neat effects like that. But yeah, it is a first-person game. There's no action, really. But yeah, a little bit of observational stuff. For the most part, things that you can interact with are pretty clear because the cursor changes. It's not like you have to just keep mashing the A button to see what you can click on. There are some things that you'll see that you should kind of take in. The game even tells you at certain points, so it tells you a little bit later than I would have expected, and I kind of had a feeling I should keep my own notes and journal, but this is a game where I have notes.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So just kind of generically talk about it, because there are puzzles outside the mansion, I think, I don't even know. There's stuff that is like clearly something outside the mansion that I haven't activated yet. So I have a little drawing essentially of...
Are you drawing maps and shit?
Yes. The good news with this, before you have to worry, the maps that I'm drawing are generally just the grid of the house, and is based off of information I have found. I have not done anything. I have not drawn like a map of every run, because I don't think that's what this game is trying to go for. I could be wrong, but it doesn't feel that way so far. Like, I found like a password somewhere, so I wrote that down and used that elsewhere. I found a note that mentioned an address. I wrote that down just in case, because fuck if I know.
Are the coordinates on the back of the jewel case?
Well, I mean, no, but, let me see here. Yeah, there was like a crazy note that I found in like one of the rooms outside of the house that you can eventually unlock, and I was like, okay, but I'm still not sure what any of it means. Like, it's written like a crazy person. Then I was in a room where I noticed that there was a, how do I put this without saying it? Like, okay, so there was a room where there's a bunch of chairs, and the chairs were organized a bit weird. Which is like one thing where I'm like, okay. Then some of the chairs were different colors. And I'm gonna hope that means nothing. But I might find something.
I was gonna say, if they purposely made them different colors, it probably means something.
Right. But at the same time, you could do that just to fuck with something.
Sure!
Right? So, I mean, I guess that is the purpose of making it then. But yeah. So, I've been pretty impressed with just certain things coming up and being like, okay, alright, well now I have this, so I guess I'll try to do something with that later. I mean, I can't really even talk about it more, because otherwise I start getting into spoilers, I think.
Probably.
I don't even fucking know. I don't even know at this point. At first I was like, okay, alright, I think I kind of got the idea. You're trying to build this to get to the end. And then I got to the end and was like, well, fuck, this door doesn't open. And then I read a note, and then, like, the note is like, yeah, you gotta make sure that this is done. And I'm like, well, fuck. Those rooms aren't in this build. Alright, so, like, I guess I'll just try to figure out if there's another way around. And, like, nope, my rooms didn't spawn in that. And I'm like, well, I've got like 3 steps left, so the day is done. And you can call it a day at any point, because sometimes you will build yourself into a dead end. But it'll always tell you, like, oh, you saw this many new rooms, you took this many steps. There's a neat feature in the library that tells you, like, how many rooms you've spawned and everything. And how many steps you've taken. It doesn't seem to have any point other than just to show you your stats, because you don't have that on a menu. I'm on day 25. And I restarted because I was like, okay, well, I've taken enough days and I don't feel like I got far enough. So, like, knowing what I know now, I'm going to restart. So I restarted, and then I was like, all right, so I've made it. This is my second time trying to go through this game. Now that I think I've got it more, clearly, I only gotten so much further. I do think, like, even if Rogue is off-putting, like, give it a shot, because it does do some really unique shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna download it when it comes out this week and
It's
give it a
Game Pass.
whirl.
I mean, really, there's nothing to lose.
There is nothing left to lose.
Do you still get points for playing it?
I have no fucking clue. I think you get, like, if you play a Game Pass game a day, you get some shit. I don't remember.
Well, there you go. Let's put it this way: I'd recommend this over Paw Patrol.
Yeah, I don't download Paw Patrol. No, thank you. Like, when they used to make you get, like, achievements for your Game Pass games, I was like, these kids' games gotta have easy achievements, right? No, they don't. Then I had to listen to Peppa Pig talk for 20 minutes, and I'm like, man, fuck this. This ain't worth my time.
Pig. I don't even know what Peppa Pig
Let's
sounds
go in the living room and find the
like.
balloon.
With its dead-eyed stare.
Yeah, just looking at it. Or when Dora... I want to play the Dora game where she just stares at you at the screen. She's like, do you see it?
I mean, isn't that just the TV show?
Yes.
Map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map.
She literally just stares at you like you're an idiot. She's like, do you see the balloon? And then just dead silence.
And then I click everything off. I do have something else to talk about, I guess. Seeing as how this is getting nothing. I'm just rambling at this point. I saw the Minecraft movie.
People seem to love it. I don't know.
It's not bad.
Like, I've seen videos of, like, people, like, jumping up, like, Avenger style, screaming in the theaters.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Like,
well, I mean, people who are into it get, like, really excited about it, you know?
Sure. I think there's some weird decisions. You can kind of tell this movie was in development hell. Because, I mean, Rob McElhenney was supposed to originally be in the movie, and then that didn't work out. And then this movie had a quick turnaround. Through means... I didn't download it or anything. Like, I had a friend who maybe found the unfinished version, and I will say that the writer was TBD in the opening credits. They didn't put the writer in.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Which is, you know,
a choice.
a thing I feel like I should bring up, because, like, if they don't know who the writer is when they have, like, a fairly finished cut of the movie, like, that doesn't scream good. So I'm very surprised on how fairly well, and, like, I think the trailer does it a lot of disservice. Like, one, Jack Black is, you know, I think a lot of people would like him to tone it down. He's fine in the movie. All of his songs, because yes, there's songs in the movie. Because of course there's Jack Black's there. You're gonna pay him to do a song. Are far more tolerable than Peaches. I gotta say, I really think Jason Momoa is a good comedic actor. He's the reason why you watch this movie. They kind of have him be Dr. Disrespect meets Billy Mitchell.
Oh,
Jesus.
That's a bad combo.
That is not a great combo.
Exactly. Like, he looks like Dr. Disrespect. He's wearing the glasses. He's got the shitty hair. He looks like he's from the 80s. But his whole character was, he was a really good video game player in 89. And he's been riding that ever since. So, I'm like, okay, and there's a character growth because it's a kids movie and there has to be character growth, and thank God there is, to be honest. But yeah, like I think honestly the design of the sheep is awful and the design of the villagers are awful and everything else looked pretty fucking good. Like the creepers, because you know they're gonna hit all the fucking things. They looked fine. I think the enemies looked fine. I was really impressed with how much clearly they cared. It's just there's just these moments where I go, why would you do that instead of this? Like it felt like, okay, well, we need to have this in here, so we're just gonna throw this in for a second. But it's like you could have just established that a bit better, like taking a little bit more time. But again, writer TBD, TBD, like that. I don't know how this movie is this competent without that being kind of finalized. Um, but there's some adult jokes in this too, like not not sexual adult jokes, which is usually where like even like Trek would go, because I feel like that's the first thing people are going to think about with this, because it's like the look of everything is very ugly, and Trek is a very ugly animation too. So no, like I'm just like oh god, what's her name? Jennifer Coolidge is the principal in the movie. She's in the trailer, which is why I don't feel bad about spoiling it. And
Well, it's fucking Minecraft. What are you gonna spoil? They're blocks.
You know what? Here's the thing. They actually do establish a plot to it. Like, why Jack Black is in the Minecraft world, how it happens. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, it's Minecraft. I figured the only real complaint I had with, like, source material just they're not doing a very good job and feeling like they threw it in there was, and I guess spoiler alert, people, is that they just have an Enderman show up, and Enderman is just the black, tall creatures that will stalk you if you look at them. And I know why it had to show up. They could have done it better, because it just kind of shows up at a point where they were like, they need to have this here so they can have this thing later on. And I'm like, alright. But, yeah, no, they do a pretty good job of everything, which is like weird because I just assumed this was going to be incompetent. Like the worst part of this movie is the director in his self-insert role called Big Chungus. Yeah.
Hi, Internet.
Yeah, it was very internet, and he's playing the bad guy who's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to destroy you now. You know, maybe if you just like, it's like a guy, like, this fucking character's
You fucking Jerry Seinfeld over here. I'm gonna have to destroy you.
No, it's the sort of, Steve, remember, if you just hand it over, I won't have to kill you. Like I got
What's the deal with all these blocks?
Yeah. It's not that, but it's that he talks in this like cadence that I've heard before.
Oh, sure.
The same characterization, and I was just like, oh fuck. And of course his name is Chungus, and you're just like, what the fuck are we doing here? There's some really weird music usage, but it's Warner Brothers, so that's not a surprise. But overall, yeah, I enjoyed the hour and a half that it was, or whatever. It's not a very long movie.
Well, that's good, because I'm getting tired of these, like, 2-hour fucking movies. Like,
yeah, and like I said, like, really, there's no point where I went, well, how did that happen? So they did do a decent job. It's just, like, an extra 10 minutes, you could have reworked sequences to be like, oh, okay, that works better. And I've seen people posting the first we mine, then we craft part because they think it's cringe. I don't know. In the context of the movie, it was fine. And I genuinely laughed at some of the shit, even if it was slapstick. Like, honestly, the fighting portion where they're fighting the creatures of Minecraft, they clearly tried to be funny with the actual combat and make it slapstick, and I'm like, alright, that's not for me. But there's a moment that I won't spoil because I just couldn't believe it happened. and I was dying laughing, but I was also making jokes about terrible things in the real world at the same time. So maybe that was part of it. Yeah, no, I was very impressed with how good that movie is. I'm glad it's succeeding. I just what it made me do is go and look at the critic reviews, and it's like I miss Roger Ebert to some extent. Maybe he would have hated this movie. I don't know. But Roger Ebert was at least good at going, it's a kids movie. Like, you have to reduce some expectation. Like, it doesn't mean that you can just put out slop. Kids are smarter than that. This movie isn't slop. This movie's fine.
Well, it's good. I'm happy for people who are into Minecraft that they got a good product.
Let me put it to you this way. What, like, if you're an adult and you've been playing Minecraft, or you played Minecraft like I did back when it was still in alpha, yeah, this probably isn't for you. You know, it's passed you by, and you know, this is a kids movie. But I watched the Emoji Movie.
Why?
Knowing it was bad, by the way. I watched it knowing it was bad. I just didn't expect it to. There's two types of bad movies. One is bad and we can laugh at it, and the other one is bad and miserable. The Emoji Movie is bad and miserable. It is a terrible fucking movie. It's not funny, which is fine. Like, you know, we didn't expect it to be funny. But it's also just not a good story. It's not interesting. It's a bunch of product placement. And just turned into this, like, weird, like, why the fuck did anybody greenlight this? And like, you know, oh, well, it's for kids, is what some people will say. And it's like, kids deserve better than the fucking Emoji Movie. Like, a lot more. No, Minecraft is fucking great. You know, honestly, I as much as people were like, Jack Black is Steve, and I was one of those people, fine in the context of the movie, it's fine. So, I just wanted to come out here and say, like, because most of the time, like, I do shit on stuff, and I think I may have shit on the Minecraft movie trailer when it came out. No, it's fine. It's a decent movie. Like, is it as good as maybe the Sonic movie? Not in my sense, but I'm also a Sonic fan, so I'm you know, broken that way.
No, those Sonic movies are legit. Those are great ass movies.
But it's like, honestly, I don't think this is much worse than, especially with knowing the nightmare of actually making this fucking movie. And like I said, I saw it with unfinished effects that I thought would be more funny. All it did was make me go, yeah, I kind of wish I saw this fully finished.
I'll probably watch it when it comes home.
Yeah, I do recommend it. There's some genuine laughs. It's a good adventure film. Like, that's another thing, something you just don't get anymore. And obviously they can do it because the whole world is just a digital fucking thing, right? It's not like they have to go to New Zealand to film a la Lord of the Rings, but yeah, I was pretty impressed.
All right.
You got kids that like Minecraft, you're not gonna hate your time with it.
Yeah, my son will probably want to watch it.
Yeah, my son's friends watched it already, and they said they liked it. So
yeah,
my son wants to watch it, but I think he's fine to wait until it comes out at home.
Yeah, I don't think it's a go to the movies, pay $20 for a ticket, pay $20 for your popcorn, pay $20 for your drink that's going to make you piss and miss part of the movie. In this case, not even like, you know, you're losing time. There's only an hour and a half or whatever. But yeah, for like even a rental at home, I think it would be.
If it's Warner Brothers, it'll pop up on Max.
So,
yeah,
it'll be on Max.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'll probably watch it there. It'll be on Max for like 3 months, and then it'll go to Netflix because Max doesn't fucking care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this movie is getting better. I can't believe I'm saying this. This movie is getting better treatment than the Looney Tunes stuff.
Oh, well, the Looney Tunes stuff is just a disaster. Like they have completely trashed that license somehow for some reason. I have no idea why.
I don't get it. Like, that shit's iconic.
Zaslav is an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to make sure I could say it again.
It's okay to say it once a week. You know,
Get it?
Get it?
Get it? This fucking guy.
Blueprints, Anthony, like a house,
Ah.
like you would build something with.
Shit stain. David Zaslav.
Architectural. All right. Is that it for you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll move on to the Wombat because Terrence still ain't here. Yeah.
Tell you what, man. Yeah, I don't really have much. I have played a lot of Assassin's Creed Shadows,
Mm,
as one might expect.
there's a lot to play.
Um,
How many
there is a
shadows
lot
are
to
left?
play. Yep, I am 41 hours in,
Jesus Christ.
and I still have a lot of people to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And then you're
Uh,
like, oh, I finally finished that circle, or whatever. And then it's like another circle pops up, and this one has like
oh,
12
gee,
guys. And you're like, oh,
so many fucking circles. Like, I so one of the few, because the game is great. I mean, we've talked it to death on here. The game is great. Um, the story is great. You know, the even like the smaller stories you get with the members of your league are really good. Um, the there are so many fucking assassination targets. Um, remember in Odyssey where you had two, or like two circles or whatever?
Yeah, of people to kill. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I mean, this game's just like oops, all circles. Um, the I think right now, 40 hours in, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 circles of assassination targets. And all of them have, you know, at minimum 4, and some of them have, I think, probably up to 12. Um, so they would have been, I think, better served if they had kept it to maybe if they wanted to do 6 circles and have 2 that mean something to Nawe, 2 that mean something to Yasuke, and 1 or 2 that they share, that mean something sort of collectively. That I think would have been much better, even though it would have been more assassination targets than most of the rest of the games have. Um, I think it would have kept it more focused and made it so that the assassination targets actually mean something. Because there's some in this that mean something. I don't want to spoil what they are. There's one specifically for Yasuke that is actually pretty cool and pretty meaningful, I think.
I liked the again, not really spoiling anything because I'm just saying the family one where it's
Yeah,
all
that
members of the family. I liked
that
that
one's
because
cool because of the ways that it can play out.
yeah,
So yeah, that one's good. But at the same time, like that one's good, but it doesn't really have that much meaning.
no, to the main
Um,
story, no.
right. So it's I don't know. I feel like the individual assassinations in this game in these games used to mean something. Like when you assassinated a target that was on a board, it meant something. And I feel like they've gotten away from the individual assassinations actually meaning something and turned it into, hey, people like assassinations in this game, so let's just dump a whole bunch of them in there.
Oops, all
And
assassinations.
right. And so I feel like it makes each one of them individually mean less. And quite honestly, the only reason that the primary assassination targets feel have more weight to them is because the missions are longer. Um, you get the screen that is cool when you assassinate people. You start to see that so many times, it's just not as impactful anymore. Um, so that, I mean, that's really my only negative about the game. Obviously, the open world is fantastic. The seasons and the impact of that is a really cool idea. Um, I I I I guess one other slight negative is that I feel like, I'm 40 hours in, and I feel like I've seen way less legendary armor for Yasuke. And I feel like I have just so much legendary equipment for Nawe. Um, and some of that is that the legendary weapons are tied behind um, mission for Yasuke. Um, but I don't feel like his gear got the same level of love and attention in terms of amount, I guess, as Nawe's stuff did. But yeah, it's an excellent game, and I'm I because I've been focused on a whole bunch of other stuff, I still have a bunch of main targets to assassinate. So I've got probably at least another 40 hours left. And if I wanted to do everything, which I won't, I could easily see this pushing into the same territory as Valhalla, where I spent 125 hours in that game. Um, I don't know how much of the true side quest stuff I'll do. Some of it's a little bit repetitive, right? It's kill bandits in this territory, kill bandits in this territory, kill this many bandits instead. Some of it you just kind of do as you play the game. Like there are different things that people want you to retrieve. And so, as you play the game, you end up retrieving some of the stuff naturally. But yeah, I mean, it's still it's an excellent game. It is at the top of my list for game of the year so far. So, a lot of stuff to come though this year. And then outside of that, I played some more Kingdom Come Deliverance, the first one, on Steam Deck, and I'm still enjoying that game. It's kind of a culture shock to go back and forth between those two games because Assassin's Creed is much more flashy and in your face, and you got to be very selective about what you do and where you go and what combat you enter into and what combat
Where
you
do
don't.
you go?
Now there's a pull that I wasn't expecting. But in Kingdom Come, I mean, even the clothes you're wearing affect what people will talk to you, what they'll say to you. So it's a much more thoughtful game. But it's good. I'm enjoying it too. It'll be 6 years from now before I finish that, because I'm playing it like an hour at a time. So, yeah, that's it, I think.
By that time, you'll be able to get the second game for $10.
Right, and I'll play that for 10 years.
By the time you finish these games, they'll be on like number 12.
Yeah, true story, unfortunately.
Oh goodness! All right, I can finally talk about two games that I've finished a while back, actually. The first one being, I mean, I feel like this game gets talked about a lot on the show, which is crazy because like it was kind of a nothing when it came out, but that was the Croc, The Legend of the Gobos. So they finally put out that remaster, and it's really good. Like, I talked about it in the preview. It's got the new refined like actual 3D platformer controls, which make that game so much more playable. They've kept all the music. Like they've got different filters for like remastering, so you can like smooth it out. You can make it the original wobbly polygons. There's a ton.
Wobbly polygons.
The PlayStation 1 had that warping shit going on.
Yeah.
So you can like mimic that. Probably the most impressive thing about this remaster though is the behind the scenes stuff. Like they've got, I mean, I feel like it's like over 2 hours worth of like interviews and the entire design document is in there. Although there was something very funnily like redacted out of the document that I couldn't quite figure out what it was. Also mention of like porting the game to the Panasonic M2.
What was the oh my god, okay.
Yeah, there's
was
actually a
the,
line in there about that.
I didn't even know that it was. I barely know what the Panasonic M2 is.
It was the follow-up to the 3DO.
Oh.
Yeah. They talked about it forever. It was actually
Hooray.
at a couple shows. Yeah, it's vaporware. It never came out.
Okay, that would
If
explain it.
if Panasonic had been Microsoft, they'd have named the follow-up the 4DO.
Yeah. Probably.
Probably.
There's an entire like design document for the Croc TV show that never happened in here.
Oh, they had really high hopes for Croc.
They absolutely had high. I mean, if you read through this thing, they were trying to make this like a full-on like.
So
Wait,
the redacted part. Let's go back to that for a second. I'm
yeah, I don't know what it's referencing.
what was the context of the piece that like where was it in there?
It was mentioning. It was like as I'm trying to remember it as I was reading it. It was like we want this game to do this like this game, and then the game is removed.
Oh.
And it's like, did that game ever come out? Did that game get canceled? Like, what are we talking about here?
I was gonna say there's the originally it was pitched as a Yoshi game, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
that had to be crossed out.
I'd almost imagine that probably there's more redacted stuff in there about Nintendo, for sure.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's really, there's also the developer test levels in there. So, like, you can go in and actually play the levels that were not included in the final game.
Who made this one?
It's Argonaut. They've reformed.
Oh, well, no, but they made this themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and they said if it's successful, they're going to do part 2. And then if part 2 is successful, they want to do 3. I mean, that's obviously ambitious, but like, I would love for them to come back and do Croc 2. I do love the nods.
Like them to do Croc 3.
I love the nods when you boot it up because there's a poster for Buck Bumble.
Biggity Buck Bumbo.
Yeah, like all of their other games get a little nod.
I mean, now I know what song this has to be when we start the show. Thank you.
Which one? Buck Bumble?
The Bumble theme. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Buck Bumble needs to be in it. Hopefully we don't get episodes stripped from Spotify.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're already getting shit taken away from us, and y'all trying to add the Buck Bumble theme.
No one's.
I don't think anybody's going to come after us for that one.
We're not gonna have any damn episodes left on Spotify.
They're removing 18, Ryan. We've done 840.
Just wait. Boogeyman might copyright strike us.
Call me up, be like, motherfucker, my song, we're removing it. Shit. That'll remove like a good solid, 400 episodes or so?
Way more than that, because he did one and then did another one.
That's true. It's probably closer to like 600 episodes.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's fine. You shouldn't be listening to those anyway.
That's true.
You're doing society a favor.
All right. So yeah, no, it's great. I was surprised nobody wanted that. I had an extra code and nobody wanted it.
I just don't see myself turning on my Xbox. That's all.
I would like it, but I was trying to give everybody else a chance first.
Yeah, nobody else cares.
Ryan, done.
All right, I'll ping it to you after the show.
All right. I like you, Ken, although not to your level. I enjoyed Croc back in the day, and as a matter of fact, I'd say the Croc demo was one of my most played demos for a long time. I had one of those PlayStation demo discs that had like Blasto and Froc and some other stuff on it, and that demo disc got quite a workout when I couldn't afford any other games.
Man, when the PlayStation was around, man, there were some weird fucking video games.
Yeah, you know what my favorite thing is you can get all those demo discs shmemulated.
Yeah, I have all of them, including all of the PlayStation Underground discs.
Yep.
And like sometimes I'll boot them up and watch an interview with David Jaffe from 1997. Like what? Whoa.
Was he an
I
asshole
miss
then?
that stuff.
Oh, I love that stuff. No, he actually wasn't an asshole back then. He was kind of humble, and then he made God of War, and he got like he's not an asshole now. Like he's just kind of out there just doing his own thing. But like yeah, after God of War, he kind of got a big head, and then he got humbled with calling all cars, and it's like, well,
Well,
you know,
You say he
Oh,
got
no,
humbled,
cars.
but then I remember him talking about game design and stuff, and the internet mocking him and stuff.
oh the
so,
Metroid stuff. Like I actually agreed with
Well, the
this
Metroid stuff, I agreed with him.
Yeah, I agreed with the Metroid take. I was like, yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't like Dread. If that's your thing, fine. But like, we've come further as video games. If you want to
I
shoot
like
every
Dread a
wall,
lot, actually.
if you want to shoot every wall and prove me wrong, go right ahead.
Oh,
Dread isn't a bad game. If I said bad, but it's just like, I'm sorry, it is not as good as some of the other previous Metroid games. I would say it's not even as good as Samus Returns, which is the same team.
oh, all right.
She has a gun. Why is she attacking everyone with parries? Doesn't make any fucking sense. Anyways,
all right.
Clearly, you don't know gun fu.
no, I
Gunkata.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, Christian Bale in that one movie.
Dude, me and my son watched that movie recently because he was like, I heard about this movie. I want to watch it. We watched it. He's like, that's kind of a depressing movie.
that movie's cheesy as fuck, but
It's
it is
so
still
cheesy.
pretty good.
I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's cheesy and it's really depressing. It's like, well, we're gonna burn the Mona Lisa. Like, oh fuck, okay, shit. So the other big game I've been playing this game for a while. I beat it. Put my reviews live. South of Midnight. Back when I did the preview, I really enjoyed.
For the sequel.
What's that?
I can't wait for the sequel, North of Dawn.
Well, I don't know. This game takes place in the South. That's where it's going to be.
I figured. Okay.
I got the joke, Anthony.
Thank you. Did you get it?
Did you get it?
Get it?
Like a blueprint.
I think that's the tag. I think that's the tagline for this episode. Is just get it. ...
Oh fuck. All right, tell me about this game.
So South of Midnight, like when I did the preview, like I was really impressed with the way it looked, the way it played. I really like the way they tell the story in this game. Unfortunately, that's the way they tell every story in this game. So if you remember back when I talked about the preview, we got to play through one level in its entirety. And the way it works is, you start the level, you go through, you do these combat encounters, you collect a memory of what happened, which is just a warning. If you have sensitivity to things like abuse and child neglect and stuff like that, this game may upset you. Because there's a lot of that in because what she's doing is she's like visiting these characters who have had these issues, and she's kind of like setting their mind at peace kind of deal. She'll collect these memories and then she'll kind of release them so that they can kind of do, so whatever you want to think of it, like release them into heaven or soul release or whatever. So you get these memories through these combat encounters, and then you go through, and it's really cool the way it does it, because it'll start off the level and you've got a theme like, here's this character, here's what they went through, and as you're going, there's a song playing, and as the further you get in the level, the song starts to build on top of itself, and eventually when you're doing the final piece, the song is playing with like full-on lyrics and music, and it's like telling the story of this person. It's a really cool concept. They do this for every level, and by the last one, you're kind of like, okay, you've run out your shtick, let's see what else you've got. Thankfully, that's kind of where it ends. Like, that's, before it gets too overdone, the game ends, which is good. Everybody's seen the visuals. They look really cool. If you don't like the stop motion in the game, you can turn it off. I actually preferred to leave it on, so I just left it on because I thought it looked really unique. The game is kind of broken up into 3 sections. So you've got your arena combat. So that's the thing to note. You will never fight enemies outside of an arena combat. So you know how in Devil May Cry, when you walk in a room, it closes off the level, you got to fight, then it opens. Same principle here. You walk in, you get in an arena, You've got some really cool moves that you can use your Weaver abilities for. So like you got like a Scorpion pull, you've got like a push away. Eventually you get this little helper called Crouton who can like possess enemies and make them fight against each other. The combat is fine. The second part of the game is your exploration and collecting. So there's a lot of, they call them floofs. They're used to upgrade. They're basically upgrade currency. Use those to upgrade your abilities. There's health increases, so there's usually one every level, every other level. When you collect through, your health goes up. And then there's a lot of like Bioshock style letters laying around that you pick up and you read. And again, it's more about the people who live there, kind of their stories. And then the biggest part of this game is definitely like the traversal platforming. So Hazel can kind of do pretty much anything. She can double jump, she can glide, she can wall run. Eventually you get an ability where you can like soar across the level, fly through wind tunnels, that kind of stuff. And it's all pretty intuitive. I did have a little issue with the jumping on like thin platforms. A lot of times she would fall off of those and it's hard to get back up on them, so I had an issue with that. Other issues I had is I feel like the combat is very repetitive at a point. Like about halfway through the game, you've kind of seen everything it's going to do as far as fighting regular enemies. Now the bosses are very different. The bosses are all very unique and interesting to fight. And they're all really cool visually. Like we're talking old school full screen bosses. The music is fantastic. The characters are fantastic. The story is great. It is actually what pulls me through this game. Like it's what makes this game worth beating, is to see how the story wraps up and like all the twists and turns through it. It's really good. It's only about 10 to 12 hours, depending on how much of it you do, which I hate to say in this day and age, but it's the best way to describe something. It's the perfect kind of Game Pass game where you play it for a week or two and then you're kind of done with it. I think it's Compulsion's best game. I don't think it's like...
Is there like 2 games?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've made 3 games total. So they made...
What's the third game?
What's that? Was a PS4 launch game. Fuck, with the like circus person with the shadows.
Oh, is that them?
Yeah, that was their first game.
Oh, I didn't realize that was them. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I'll look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was their first game. Then We Happy Few was kind of a bait and switch, which really like disappointed me.
Contrast.
Contrast. Yes, that's the one.
Oh, fuck. I didn't realize that was them. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's 100% their kind of style. Like, they have a style.
Okay.
But yeah, this is by far their best game, best playing. I can't stress enough how good the music, characters, and like story to this game is. It's really good, but it is very traumatic. So like, if that stuff bothers you, this game may not be for you. But yeah, it's really good. So I suggest like the Blueprints, which is, about building a house. You should check it out when it launches on Game Pass this week.
Get it?
Get it? Yeah, that's 2 big Game Pass games this week, right? Blueprints and South of Midnight.
Yeah, I think South of Midnight's going to be the bigger of
Sure,
the 2,
I mean, sure, yes. And technically you could play South of Midnight last week if you paid, what was it, $10 for the upgrade or whatever. But it's a really good game. I suggest checking it out. I think if you enjoy those kind of games, you'll really enjoy this one. It feels like Microsoft finally has that cadence of games, which is hilarious to me because it took them so long. That then
instead of putting their fucking stick in their spokes,
it's like it took them so long to get to the point where they're like, okay, well here come the games, and now everybody's just like, well, when's the PS5 version? Like, so
that was a perfect voice for that, by the way.
I know. But that's really the big stuff I played. I'm not gonna sit here and ramble on about Overwatch or Rock Band or any of that shit. So, I am playing a couple other games that I guess I can't talk about yet. Which, when I tell you about them, will be funny because it's not like they're not the kind of games you're like, oh my god,
Solitaire.
yeah.
The Solitaire collection.
No, it's not that bad. But
Embargoed until.
let me tell you about cards, Anthony.
Oh fuck.
But anyway, that's it for me. I guess we Terrence finally joined. Maybe.
Looks like he's out there.
I am here, yes. Hello.
Okay. Oh, you finally made it.
I don't know. Can y'all hear me? I don't know. This thing is telling me.
We can hear you.
This was a struggle. It always is. So, oh God.
You can hear
Why is
us,
it saying
right?
it's not detecting anything? Yeah, no, I totally can hear y'all.
Okay.
Like I was hearing you talk about you playing some stuff that you can't talk about, and you played, some. Did somebody play something that I would want to hear about? Did y'all? Oh, I missed the whole South of Midnight.
You did miss the whole South of Midnight.
I read the review. It's
that's
fine.
pretty much what I said. Yeah, check it out.
Okay.
It's out on what's it actual Game Pass release date? I'm getting ready to do new releases, so I should just look, right?
Yeah.
Why is it? Oh,
yeah.
So it's out on Tuesday. Tuesday's the release date.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, mine is already. I don't know what that was. Mine is already like installed and stuff, so I'm looking forward to playing. One of the questions I had though, because I saw some clips of people or people's reviews, I guess, and a lot they were just talking about like how the combat wasn't really great, or you stopped really getting anything new after like chapter 4 or something like that, and it just kind of was like a run of the mill kind of platforming stuff. That's well, I don't agree with the like. The platforming doesn't change. I think that final level is fucking crazy as far as platforming goes. But yeah, you kind of max out what you're getting as far as like new abilities pretty early on, which is actually kind of nice because then you get to just use them. I mean, I like that. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
think that
the combat. Yeah, like dude, it is literally here's a Devil May Cry arena, kill the people. Like there's no enemies walking around the world.
That was the other thing, and I guess they're a lot samey. Like there's
there's not a lot of variety. Like I think I want to say 4 or 5 enemy types, but the bosses are the real. It's almost like Compulsion new because there's an option to turn off combat encounters in the menu.
Oh, wow, okay.
So like you don't even have to fight them. That's what I would recommend. Like don't make this too hard combat wise because the combat is the least interesting part of this game by far. So like don't put the difficulty up high because it literally just changes the combat. The platforming is the same. So I don't understand the point of having 5 difficulty levels in this game. Like it feels excessive.
That's a lot of difficulty level. Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay.
There's 5 difficulty levels and then an option to turn off combat in the menu, and I'm just like just make the combat easy. That's fine. The boss fights are fun, even on like an easier combat setting. So I don't know. This isn't a game I want to master the combat of, for sure.
Gotcha. I mean, I just the world and story looked interesting. I just want to.
Oh yeah, that part of the game is.
It'll probably be a one and done.
Yeah,
like,
top tier. Like going through the story, top tier. Combat is just kind of there.
Gotcha.
That's it though. That's it for me. So, do you have some stuff you want to talk about?
I honestly don't think I have anything that I want to talk about for real. Because I don't think I really have played anything new. I've already talked about all the review stuff. Well, that's under embargo. I did because you could talk about that anytime. I did play Monster Train 2. But it was very briefly. I did not play the first one. This is not any of you 4s, 3s type of game because it is a card game, roguelike. So it's, I guess in the first one, I guess you were controlling little demon monsters attacking heaven, but I guess now the Titans are super pissed and they was like, what? And so now they coming down, and so now you got to team up with heaven, and now everybody's fighting Titans. And you're on you have a train that you're on that train to glory. Wow, that just came to my head. That's an old Negro song. If you know, you know. Anyways, it's
Okay.
I'm sorry. It just fucking came to my head. Like I'm like, oh wow, wow. Anyways, so you get a train, obviously, because that's the name of the game. And you're fighting on the different levels. I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of booted it up laying down because it does work on Steam Deck, which is nice. And so I was just kind of running through it before I kind of went to sleep. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll play this for a minute. I don't know. I was kind of confused. So I'll give you a more in-depth preview for sure. Don't even worry about it. But outside of that, I don't think everything else I've played is pretty much the same. I haven't played Rivals because season 2 starts, I think, this week on the 11th. So I'll jump back in there. They're doing the Hellfire Gala. We get Emma Frost beginning of the season, and then I think Ultron in the second, and then they're switching and they're going to add a hero every month.
I saw
like,
that, and I'm like,
hell yeah!
I was like, Jesus Christ, like, man, that's a lot. And also, y'all horny as fuck, man. Jesus Christ.
Well,
that Emma Frost stuff was just plastered everywhere. Like, goddamn, calm down.
You know what? And so because at first I was like, man, young me might have been like, oh, man, no, I wouldn't have. No, I fucking wouldn't have. Because it's a picture. Like, y'all are fucking weird. Not only is it not a real woman, somebody dreamt her up and drew her. So you're getting hard to fucking, I don't know who created. Anthony, you know comic book knowledge. Who created Emma Frost? That you dreaming, you're getting hard to that nigga's dream. Come on, man. Y'all doing too much. Anyways. That was kind of Eddie Murphy-ish, that rant.
I was going to say.
Who was it? Oh, he's up to stay out of it. But no, you're right. You're right. It's just, it's too much. It's too much. I just want to play the game. I don't care about tits and ass. I'm an old man. I've seen tits and ass in my lifetime. I don't jump up for digital tits and ass. You understand? I don't do that.
And it's Chris Claremont, as is most modern X-Men.
Oh wow, I didn't realize he.
Man,
yeah, you're right.
I guess that the new DOA Venus Vacation came out in like Japan or whatever.
Oh Lord,
man, that is. Whew.
Yeah, that's all I get. Listen. Oh man, what's crazy is I think I played one of the volleyball games.
Oh,
and I was like, damn, what are we doing?
Yeah, those are uncomfortable, but this one is strictly just like get to know me kind of. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah. See, hey, listen, I'm not here to judge anybody's journey. Okay, I'm just going to say it's not for me. Is what I want to really say. You guys do you, I guess. Get excited, but it's weird to me. But okay. So Rivals season 2 about to come out, and yeah, they're about to go ham and add all these heroes. I know. I figured when I read it, I was like, Ken gonna be like, oh my god, the balancing. I don't give a fuck about the balancing. I'm here.
No, it's not even the balancing. It's just like, how long can you do this? Like,
that's my question too. The rumor is they already had like hella heroes deep before like they first put up, because like the what do you call those niggas, the data miners, like went and like looked at a whole bunch of unannounced heroes and stuff, and they probably could keep it up for at least a year, maybe 2. Like and then there's hella Marvel characters to choose from, and they using obscure ones. I don't know. I'm here to have some fun with some Marvel characters. Once the game stops,
yeah, it just seems like it's a lot, and it seems like it's like, I don't know. It's like throwing everything at the wall and see what sticks. And like, I'm just curious how long people will enjoy that, I guess is my question. The game isn't for me. I played it. It's not my jam. People enjoying it. That's awesome. I just wonder if they're going to saturate it and make people stop liking it. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, maybe that's what people want.
Maybe. I mean, well, actually, that probably is if you're a super hardcore Marvel fan. Again, young me, this is what I wanted. Comic book fan girl, all this, everything is comic book. Like, this would be fantastic. But old me, it's like, man, this is fantastic, but some of the writing in this sucks. But that's the story.
I don't think they're here for the writing. I'm just
no. Well, definitely not in that. Definitely not in Rivals.
They're there for other things.
Mm-hmm. outside of that, I played some more Assassin's Creed Shadows. I did finish up, because I wasn't able to do it before I finished up the review, but I did finish up Act 2 yesterday. And I finished up actually the whole main kill list. I won't go into it for, I don't want to spoil anybody, but I did finish up the main circle, and kind of saw there. And I expected like a cutscene and stuff, and no, it just kind of, you do that and then the journey continues. So I'm kind of curious at what point we circle back to the present stuff and everything kind of goes, and I guess at that point, where the hell is the end of Act 3? Like, cause I don't know, but the game's still good. Yasuke's story gets, super awesome. As you finish up the main circle, you find out some different things, which I'm here for. So it doesn't, I guess it's cool that it kind of like the journey continues because there's still hella content to do at this point. There's lots of assassination factions and side stories and stuff to come across, and yeah, so
yeah, we talked about
the
massive amounts of circles earlier when Wombat was going through his.
Yeah, man. So like I said, I finished up like the main thing, so I'm like late game. I think I'm probably the furthest of everybody. I'm almost level 40. Actually, I might have hit 40.
Wombat said he was like 40-something hours into the game.
Yeah, I'm level 40.
Damn, nigga, you done beat me.
Dude just goes, man.
I still have, to give you some context to that, Terrence, I'm level 40. I've got 42 hours in the game. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 main targets to kill.
God, my Jesus. Hold on. I'm so, wait, I want to see what is my time on this? Because I'm pretty sure mine was like 36 hours or something when I looked at it last night.
I was going to say, I'm only like 15, 20 hours in. I don't remember.
I've finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the other circles.
Oh, wow. Okay. I got you.
It's just a circle exterminator over here.
That's right.
I have to go into the game to actually look. I have 2 days, 11 hours worth of playtime.
Oh,
so yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, you're ahead of me.
But it's, damn, there's people ahead of me. Jesus Christ. 4 days. Woo! All right. No, it's oh my God, the game is great. And it's so pretty. And I know a lot y'all don't ride the horse, or y'all was saying, one of y'all was saying you don't ride the horse.
That's Anthony. Like, I ride the horse all the fucking time.
I ride the horse. Yeah.
Yeah, I use the horse. But like just the wildlife running around, like you have foxes and deer and all kind of stuff, freely galloping in front of you, just like, oh, this is so serene. And then a Ronin yells, "Hey, you!" And you're like, well, fuck it, now I got to kill this guy. So
yeah, so let me add on the Ronin thing. For clarification's sake, for people who haven't played the game, after a certain point, basically you'll come across wandering Ronin on the road who are out to kill you, kind of like the mercenaries in Odyssey, but they're not.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have like a circle, and you're not trying to go up in rank or whatever. They just will find you out in the street and try to kill you. And I was thinking the last time one of those came up on me, how cool would it have been if they had the Nemesis system for the Ronin that are wandering around trying to kill you? And it just makes me sad all over again. Sad that everything that happened with that studio, but also sad that system isn't widely available and used.
Yeah, that, man, damn, nigga, you cooking right now. I didn't even think about that. That would have been dope.
Yeah, can you imagine if there were wandering Ronin that would hunt you down with extra vigor because you beat them the first time?
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Well, they're not the only ones that hunt you.
Well, true.
No, they're not.
And actually, later oh man, God, they need to. When is it free? Like, what is it, 2036 or something stupid?
Yeah, it's at a point it don't matter. Like, if I sit here and think about it, I'll be damn near 60.
God, see? God, that's so messed up. Oh well. But yeah, no, Assassin's Creed is still a fantastic game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think we're anxious to talk about Nintendo.
Yeah, we'll get to Nintendo. I'm gonna run through the releases and the other news real quick.
Okay.
New releases this week. We've got Monster Energy Supercross 25, the official video game.
That's good because I've been playing the unofficial video game.
Well, you
So
shouldn't do that. That's
glad to finally get a chance to play the real thing.
Play the
Yeah.
real one.
Ixion,
We're the devs.
South of Midnight, Commando's Origins. Oh, Descenders Next is out this week. I didn't realize that was
That's good.
Detective from the Crypt, Little Droid, Blueprints, Inotria, The Last Song, Horde Core Console Edition, Monaco 2, Pocket Bravery,
Monaco was out.
Poppy Playtime Triple Pack, Promise Mascot Agency, The Talos Principle Reawakened, Buck Hunter Ultimate Trophy, Cappy's Quest, and Mortis Somum. That's a weird name. Mortis Somum. Beyond the Ice Palace 2 is coming to PlayStation. Dave the Diver, Ichiban's Holiday, SteamWorld Heist 2. I guess it's physical.
Yeah.
Eldrador Creature Shadowfall. All right, let's go to the Switch.
Oh Lord.
By the way, Mortis Somum, I thought it sounded Latin. Mortis Somum means deathbed in Latin.
That's why, like in the indie games, I got Autopsy Simulator. I might try that out this week. That sounds weird. Man, immediately when I pulled up the Switch, I was like, what are we doing? Like, immediately. Because we've got Girls Made Pudding.
Okay, wait. Girls make?
No,
or girls made pudding?
No, girls made pudding.
Okay. All right. Hopefully Anthony is looking it up because I
wouldn't Google that if you paid me.
You go end up on a list.
Yeah. We also have Hentai Puzzle Muscular Guys.
God dang it, Nintendo. Okay.
What else we got on here? I love the Nintendo Switch games. Just
somebody loves them too, a little too much. I think.
That's uncomfortable. That's for sure.
But so we were talking, my son and I, about the Switch 2, and I said something about Hitman, and he's like, "They're gonna put Hitman on the Switch?" And I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "It's like mostly family games on the Switch," and I just put my hand on his shoulder.
Right.
Please maintain that level of innocence.
Yeah, that's definitely not the case.
Oh man, it's not. Lord.
All right, we're just gonna move on to news. Yeah, there's not much else going on. Switch is obviously dying down for a reason. Did we talk about this last week? How Nexon, Netmarble, NCSoft, and Krafton are reportedly in competition to get the rights for StarCraft.
StarCraft.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we talked about the three that we wanted, and well, at least I did. And I just want the MMO, so I'm really pulling for NCSoft here.
ZeniMax QA testers voted for a strike if they can't reach a deal with Microsoft. In-house contractors have been working for minimum wage with no benefits, including no paid sick time. That's fucked up.
Yikes.
Yeah, Jesus.
New Game Pass games. We've got Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition, Diablo 3, South of Midnight, Commando's Origins, Blueprints, Hunt Showdown 1896 on PC, and then the standard tier is getting All You Need Is Help, Still Wakes the Deep, and Wargroove 2.
The last probably 4 games, and I'm not going to lie to you, it just kind of all blended together, and it was just words. I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like, holy shit, what are these games?
PlayStation Productions says they're absolutely trying to make a film adaptation of Astrobot, because of course they are. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Which studio?
PlayStation Studios.
Oh, there's okay. I forgot that Sony is their own
This is all the Nintendo stuff. We'll come back to this because I have a lot to say.
Uh-oh. Let me dust this soapbox off. Hold on.
Let's see here. What else we got? Linkin Park announced a cracked Neo S Linkin Park Edition controller for rhythm games like Fortnite Festival on PC cloud devices and Switch.
Why can't we just get a real rhythm game again?
Yeah, Fortnite
Right?
Festival is just ugh.
Who owns all those people now? Well, actually, I guess everybody has their own.
It's Epic, the Fortnite people.
Oh, they bought. Okay. I
Yeah,
didn't
the
know that.
Harmonix
Right.
built Fortnite Festival.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
All right then.
same guys that built Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Yeah, they made
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite Festival. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick said they're holding on to GTA 6's release date for a shorter marketing cycle. Huh.
I don't. Okay, whatever. Okay.
Night Dive Studio says they're ready to start remastering Xbox 360 and PS3 games. Oh, hell yeah.
That's excellent to hear.
It's time to bring back some of those B-tier fucking weird games from that era. Man, there was a lot of weird shit during the 360 era.
Yeah.
I want them to do Chronicles of Riddick.
Chronicles of
I
Riddick
want
is
them to-
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the Darkness.
I would
The
mind
first one.
Shadowrun, but
Darkness.
I'm a minority. Darkness is good. Yeah, those are really good games.
Riddick was
Um,
originally original Xbox, not 360. But
Yeah,
they
but
did
I mean-
make Assault on Dark Athena for
Yeah.
360.
And what was the other one? Syndicate.
Syndicate's a great
Yes,
game.
Syndicate was another good one.
All the Starbreeze shooters before they just did Payday for
Mhm.
the end of time.
Yeah.
Well, some of them split off and made machine games. So
I'm the guy that wants some weird, like really off the wall. Like, let's do Bullet Witch. Let's get funky.
I don't even know what that is.
there's no way you're
Bullet
making
Witch.
Bullet Witch. Bullet
Oh,
Witch is just
I do
like,
know what that is. Yeah, I know
it's
what
Earth
that is.
Defense Force, but you're a witch.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and the maps are huge and empty.
Yep, that's Earth Defense Force.
You shoot
yeah.
big giant brains. Fucking weird game.
I stand by my statement.
What else we got here? A lot of layoffs. Cyan, the developers of Myst, laid off 12 people, which is roughly 50% of their team. Eidos Montreal is laying off 75 people.
I want Haze remastered.
What?
Okay.
No. The answer's no.
All right.
We'll talk about that in a minute. A lot of news about Nintendo this week, so I'm sorry that I'm jumping around. We'll get back to it.
They got a lot of news.
Anything release-wise that's interesting here? Let's see. As they announced the release date for The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon, launches this fall for everything except for Xbox.
As is tradition.
As is tradition. There's the game Windjammers and Karnov and Friends is coming to the Evercade this June. I guess the Evercade had a big, like, what do you call it, like, presentation thing, a bunch of games. Like, I can't believe that thing's still kicking. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The Sinking City Remastered has been announced for next gen. Owners are getting a free upgrade. Doom: The Dark Ages is coming to BattleNet with Xbox Play Anywhere support. Daemon X
Anywhere but Steam.
Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion is coming September 5th, but the most shocking part of this is that it was announced for Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC. Sorry, Switch 2 and PC. Anything else here before we get into this bullshit? There's a new Street Fighter 6. It's called Years 1 and 2 Fighter Edition. Launches June 5th. Will be available for everything.
You know what? While you're looking that up, I finished Death Stranding. I forgot about that because I didn't have my PlayStation turned on, but I did finish Death Stranding. I am mostly confused by Death Stranding, but it was good. It was
We'll
good.
talk after the show.
That's fine. Okay.
Oh,
All right, go ahead.
according to this, Descenders Next got delayed to an unspecified date, so I guess that release date was wrong. There's also a new Oceanhorn game coming to PC and mobile this year.
No, please let it be more like the first.
Yeah, that second game was
Fine.
not great. All right, let's do this. It's time for Nintendo. So Nintendo may have had an event this week. I don't know. You may have heard about it. It was only everywhere. The Nintendo Switch 2 launches June 5th. Currently, and I say currently with an asterisk next to it, for $449 for just the system and $499 with Mario Kart World. Which, now that we know what we know, is kind of a deal. Because Mario Kart World is $80.
Welcome to what the pricing has been in Canada.
Yeah, but now the Canada prices are going up. So
Yep.
Okay,
Well,
right,
I mean,
but is yours $80?
But like, I'm sorry. This is when we had those conversations. Games should cost more. Now they cost more. Now everybody's fucking whining about it. Congratulations. Like,
I still find it funny.
I fucking told you. No. Hold on. Give me a second. I have my soapbox out and then I'll put it away. I said to all of you it was fucking expensive in Canada. And I don't want to hear about it being expensive in Canada. You just keep bringing up the fucking price that it's in Canada. It's hard to justify a close to $100 purchase for one game. End of story. Doesn't matter where you're at. Like, there's a point where you start getting into this isn't less of just a purchase and more of like an investment in something. Like, $100 could buy you something a lot bigger than just one game, potentially. That's a lot of groceries. Well, I mean, maybe not anymore, but it was.
It is if you don't buy any eggs, basically.
Yeah. It's just this. It's this constant talk of like games should be worth more, and it's like games shouldn't devalue as much as they do. That is a conversation we can have. And I feel like we're getting less and less of that. But like, there's a reason why Nintendo games rarely go on sale. They don't devalue, right? It's just this annoying thought process, and it's like, well, games used to cost a lot more. Games also used to be a lot more physically. They were chips and boards, and if your game needed extra chips, it cost you more to develop. Not just the development process of the game, but the cartridge itself. It's not the same anymore.
To be fair, not every game was on cartridge in the late 90s.
No, but we weren't paying.
But even before
weren't paying like $80 for PS1 games.
No, but you were paying $50 in 1996 money for PS1 games.
Oh, sure.
But regardless, my point is that it's like games also used to like games can now reach multi-million, sellers, and not everything does, of course. But it used to be, you used to break even with 100,000. Like, cost of development and stuff, I get it. But it's just like, it's now you've got what you want, and it's not good enough. Well, because it's tariffs based, and not actually because the games are actually costing more to make or whatever. It's just this was going to happen. People wanted this and called me crazy. Well, go fuck yourself. Here it is.
Well, here's the other funny part of that, is that everybody assumed that price was because of the tariffs. But now, they've delayed the pre-orders to see what happens with the tariffs.
Yeah.
Just for the system.
Just for the system, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't delay the price for the game, or didn't delay pre-orders for the games, as far as I know, just the system.
Yeah, I mean, the games were already outrageous, like, in price, but...
Well, considering Japan, China, and Vietnam, I believe, are all involved in Switch 2 production.
Yes.
And those three got heavily blasted by tariffs. I have a feeling. I do think there was an element of the initial sort of 449 price that was pricing in anticipated tariffs because I mean you've got the one that is going to be the equivalent of 330 American dollars that's launching in Japan that's region locked and only in Japanese.
That was
so
on
that
purpose,
one,
for sure.
Right. It was clearly on purpose. And it makes me think, like I said, the original 449 was already pricing in some anticipation of tariffs. But now that they're officially out there, I think that's why you're seeing the pause and the regroup on pre-orders. It's interesting though that they paused pre-orders but still say they're releasing the system on the 5th, which makes me think that we may see them release the system, or release pre-orders everywhere but the United States early.
Well, that's what they said. I thought that the pre-orders are only canceled here. Everybody else, like Anthony, he can pre-order his on April 9th.
Because I saw some folks in Canada saying that the pre-orders were disabled. But if they're back on, then yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and I mean,
they haven't went live yet, so.
Yeah, I thought they hadn't even gone live.
They were supposed to go live on Wednesday. They were supposed to go live Wednesday.
On the GameStop website, there was whatever the place is in Canada. There was there was a pre-order date originally, and then they took that date away.
Okay.
So I don't know if the date has come back. Anthony, you could probably check for us.
Yeah, I can do that right now.
But it had gone away. I saw multiple people on Blue Sky posting about the fact that the date was no longer there on the
That's
Canadian
weird
GameStop
because
website.
I thought the original thing from Nintendo even said that the US pre-order dates were only affected. It didn't say anything with anybody else.
It says 2 days. So there's a countdown on GameStop's Canadian website. 2 days, 22 hours, 27 minutes.
No, it's Wednesday.
So they put it back up.
Yeah.
So it's the 9th. Yeah. So it's
So
it's just
I wonder
us.
if it was just everybody rushing to try to get out ahead of whatever Nintendo was doing.
Anyways, my point wasn't the tariffs, by the way, in the price. It doesn't matter what the price is. Everybody got what they were asking for, called me crazy, and now they're upset with it. But it's like, welcome to living in another country. Like, I think Australia has it even worse, where games have been just $100. And it's like, I get it, equivalent lines in terms of, like...
dingoes.
Yeah. But, like, I get it. Like, in comparison to, like, States prices, there's not much of a difference when you do the conversion rate. But the sticker shock is still there. And that's been my point, and I probably worded it poorly because I'm an idiot, and that's fine. But, like, it's just like, this is it. This is the moment where, like, yeah, stuff is expensive.
Yeah.
This is why I've been fighting and pushed against it, because guess what? When it becomes less expensive to make or whatever, it doesn't go down in price. Trust me, I know from experience.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing with
higher. We still paid more.
Yeah, it's the same thing with all this. It's the same thing with all this tariff stuff. Once it goes up, it's never going to go back down.
Yeah.
Like once prices go up, you reach a saturation point where everybody's used to the new price. And then even if the market conditions change, it's not going to go back down.
Yeah.
Just crazy. Anyway,
which is why I was a grumpy guy.
We'll definitely get back around to the price, but let's go over kind of the details of the system. So, the Switch hardware has a
Swatch.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
Swatch 2.
Okay. Switch 2 has a 7.9-inch
blueprint, Anthony. Blueprint, like you would use to build a house.
Get it? Yeah.
7.9-inch LCD screen.
I think they missed a naming opportunity by making. They should have turned the S into a 2.
Ken is real loud about to mute everybody. He's motherfucker, like he's about to mute everybody so he can talk.
It's Switch 2 second coming. two second coming.
There it is.
Anyway, the screen is 1080p. Supports up to 120 frames a second. HDR. Joy-Cons attached magnetically. The Joy-Cons can be used as a mouse. The dock supports up to 4K resolution. Has its own fucking fan in it. I don't know if you saw that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I did not. Wow.
Yeah, it's a chonker. 256 gigabytes of internal storage, which Nintendo made it sound like that was some kind of revolution. My dude, like
But
that
it's
ain't
Nintendo,
shit.
right? Yeah.
Large flip stand on the back, 3D surround sound, and backwards compatible for, and we're going to talk about this, selected digital and physical games. So
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
I have got some more information on this from a developer who I watched some YouTube videos this weekend. The Switch 2 is using emulation.
Yeah.
So most of the games right now are not working. So I think there's a list. So there's 122 Nintendo first party games. Most of those work. Not all of them, most of them. Probably about 98%. There are 15,000 third party games.
Jesus.
And currently only 20% are 100% compatible.
Yeah, so we're in the Xbox universe where we're going to get waves of compatibility.
Yep. So do not expect every game to work with the Switch 2, which
What are we doing?
sucks. But let's move on. There's a lot to talk about here. They're adding GameCube to Nintendo Switch Online. It will launch with 3 games. Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, and Soul Calibur 2. They will also have a controller.
Three great choices, by the way.
Yeah, those are fantastic choices. Crazy that it's not Mario, but that's fine.
Yeah, but those are still really good.
We've got.
They'll save. They don't need Mario. They don't need Mario Sunshine in there at launch. They'll save that until they feel like they need another goose to the expansion pack subscribers.
I think the funniest thing I saw was like, oh, they're putting Wind Waker on the NSO, but it's not the HD version. Well, no shit, that was on the Wii U. That wasn't the GameCube version.
I prefer the visuals on the GameCube version.
So it does support widescreen, so both F-Zero and Soul Calibur both have a widescreen mode. That does work. They also showed some other titles, including Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon XD, Luigi's Mansion, Super Mario Strikers. So that's cool, and it is only Switch 2. It does not work on the original Switch, although they did say that they are upgrading the N64 NSO.
Oh wait, sorry. There was a Pokemon game on GameCube that was like a Pokemon game, like a real Pokemon.
There was 2. Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
They're different, but they are RPGs.
Oh shit! Okay, I did not know that. I thought that the only ones that were on the console at that time were like the ones that like the Coliseum types, where you can like use your Game Boy game and like fight with like 3D. I didn't realize that. Dope. Okay, I'm gonna play them shit. Okay, go. Sorry, my man.
No, you're good. You're good. Third-party games announced for Switch 2 include Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, motherfuckers, Deltarune chapters 1 through 4, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion, Elden Ring, Hades 2, Bravely Default HD Remaster, and oh look, a Hollow Knight sighting. They showed Hollow Knight.
Yeah, they did show Hollow Knight. Yep.
So they're also still doing amiibos.
Yep, they announced some new ones.
Okay, but like the Final Fantasy thing, it's got to be coming to Xbox, right? Like
People still swear it is, but here we are, 5 years later.
That's crazy if it comes to Switch 2 and it's all coming to Xbox.
It only runs at 30 frames a second on the Switch 2, by the way.
Ooh, I did not know that. Okay, well.
Yeah.
So it's like the Steam Deck, because I think the Steam Deck can only run it at 32.
Yeah, same with, Cyberpunk, I think, runs at 40 on performance. Which, by the way, the Switch 2 does not support 4K 120. If you want 120, it has to be in 1080p.
Yup. I saw that.
They announced what is called Switch 2 Game Chat. There's a built-in mic on the top of the system. It also supports game screen sharing. The new C button pulls up a quick chat menu. So basically they put Discord.
C is for chat.
Yeah, they basically put Discord on the Switch without using Discord.
Yep. A shittier version of Discord from what I've seen.
Yeah,
on the
I was
Switch.
a little concerned about the some of the frame rates
Yeah.
in the.
Did you see?
Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. Sorry, you're probably about to say it anyway. My bad.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say if you saw the game footage where they were showing like the little cameras where they were playing Mario Kart and stuff, like the four of them,
that's what I
like the
was
little
talking
live
about.
thing. Yep, that's what I
Yeah.
figured. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty chunky.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little nervous about that.
Did you see that camera? That camera is like, it's only like $50, so I don't expect the quality.
No, and I don't think Nintendo really. I don't think the primary consumer for the Switch 2 is really going to care about having a 4K fucking video camera. The coolest thing about the camera that I've seen so far is some third party, I can't remember who it is now, is making one that looks like a piranha plant.
That was cool. Yeah, I think
And
they put that in the
little
thing.
mouth on the piranha plant opens and closes so that you can turn the camera on and off.
This right
That was
here
dope.
is how Nintendo gets you. They're like, look at this cool
Yep.
novel shit that you don't need.
I mean,
Yep.
listen, I don't think anybody has ever doubted the fact that half of Nintendo's success comes from, brand loyalty and marketing.
No, 100%.
Like, I mean, they make all their first party shit is good, and they've done a great job of not devaluing their IP, to put it like a guy in a suit in a boardroom would say it.
Yeah, the camera's $50. What else we got here? So
By the way, I have no intention or desire of buying a game or a Switch 2 camera.
No,
So
me neither.
just to put that out there.
They announced that
I never owned a camera for my PlayStation. I never owned a camera for my Xbox.
we had to for the
well,
Xbox.
I guess I do have the. I
Yeah.
do. No.
You didn't buy an
No.
Xbox One at launch?
Nope.
Oh,
No,
well,
I did not.
good for you.
I bought my Xbox One after the Kinect. That's not true though, actually, because I did have a PlayStation camera with my PSVR.
Oh, well, yeah, well, that doesn't really count. You had to have it for that.
Right.
I bought one for the PS3 for that card game.
I totally.
I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, what was
The Judgment, Eye of Judgment, was
yeah,
that what it was?
Eye of Judgment.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I liked that game. That was cool.
Nintendo also announced upgrades for Switch 2 games. Some of them are paid, by the way.
Yeah, the paid thing makes a little bit of sense to me on the games where they're adding additional content that's Switch 2 exclusive.
Mhm.
I think $20 is probably a little much. But I can see, because they're not just visual upgrades for like Mario Party and for Kirby. There's additional content there. So I can understand making those paid upgrades with the additional, call it downloadable content. The ones that are just visual upgrades, that doesn't make any sense to me.
The $20 kills me because even as greedy as Sony is, doesn't charge $20 for that.
No,
Well, they might if there was they might if there was extra content, right? I mean, like the Horizon remaster was just a remaster, so yeah, it was $10 to upgrade, but there wasn't any extra. It wasn't like a whole new DLC for the game came with it.
There are new modes and stuff like Days Gone, so there is new content. But I still feel like $20 is a lot, and
no, $20 is too much. But I can see why those aren't free upgrades.
Sure, I'd be fine if they were like $10. It is nice that they're tossing them into NSO, so we will get those for free if you subscribe to NSO, which is like with the expansion pass is like $30 a year, which is nothing.
Yeah, if you don't have the family. If you have the family version, I think it's like 80 or something like that.
Is it really that much more? Wow.
I think so. Yeah. The family stuff ramps up, but I think you can have 4 or 5 people under your family. So
we should talk about that. Oh, we talked about that last week.
we
the
talked
game
about that
sharing.
last week. So did they confirm, by the way, that the ones with the additional content are also included in the NSO deal, or is it just like Zelda?
They included Zelda, Mario Party, and something else. I forget what the
Kirby is the one that I'm interested in.
I think Kirby. I think Kirby's in the NSO expansion.
Kirby was, it was Kirby and Zelda were the two that I saw that were.
I'm pretty sure Mario Party's in there too, but I may be wrong.
See, that's fine. You goose your NSO subscribers a little bit. It would be nice if you could just plug a game in and it would run better on the Switch 2,
Which some will do that.
Stuff.
Yeah, some other companies can do that. I'm sure they will, but what's the support? Who knows?
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, the games are expensive. Mario Kart World is $80. Donkey Kong Bonanza is $70. Digital games will be $10 cheaper. So that part is cool.
Yep.
Making digital games cheaper is a smart move that every other company should take.
Yep. Should have been done a long time ago.
But now let's talk about the game key card. So Nintendo announced physical games for this system, but they've announced what's called a game key card. And basically, this does not have the game on the cartridge.
It's everything you hate about physical media combined with everything you hate about digital media in one package.
Yeah. So apparently you can trade it in, you can use it on any system, but it will not just play off the cartridge. So you have to download it. You have to have an internet connection.
Yeah. I like the fact that you can trade it in at least, but still, it's a silly invention. Give me physical games and give me digital games. This weird open space in between, I'm not a fan of. Just like I'm not a fan of the stuff where you get this huge collector's edition with all this physical bullshit in the box, and then there's a download code for the game. Give me a real physical edition, or give me a digital edition. Preferably give me both. But this is a weird idea.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't make any sense either because you're not saving no fucking money or anything. So you're just printing the same boxes with the same covers with the same shit, but instead of putting an actual game in here in this box, I'm going to put this little key card. You're going to download the game. But in this other one, we got the full game. That's so stupid.
But you know why they're doing it, right?
Oh, I know why they're doing it.
They're doing it because if you want the game on a bigger cart, you have to pay more for the cart.
Right.
That's
we're nearing the end on cartridge media.
Yes, I think we're nearing the end of physical media before too long, I think. I still stand that next generation consoles will not come with a disc drive by default.
Unfortunately, you're probably correct.
I think you're right, and I think Microsoft is going to be the first out the gate, and they're going to get lambasted. Is that the word? That's a good word.
Oh yeah, right? they'll be shit all over.
Yeah, that's a good word
for that.
Yeah, they're going to catch all of it for that, and and it's going to end up being the right move, as we're seeing as Nintendo is embracing a lot of their early things that they said they were going to put, but even their stuff didn't have. I'm gonna stop. It's just weird. I don't know. And
Microsoft basically steps on their own rakes, as they've done throughout history of trying to do stuff early. And when they do it, we look at it and we're like, yeah, that's probably where it's going to be, but people aren't really ready for that yet.
Right.
And that's been the case with everything they've done. So, and eventually it comes to fruition. I mean, we're literally seeing the Xbox One generation happen now. They were just 10 years early, which is crazy if you think about it. But
well, except for the fact that even with these game carts, you can trade them in.
Sure, you could trade them in.
Yeah. But I thought that was something that they were talking about. Like, they didn't come out and say that because that whole press
there was a
conference
conversation
fucked up.
around trading
But,
in digital
yeah,
licenses.
trading the digital stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was something that was talked about. So that was out there. But it's so funny because this whole thing is literally that scene in Back to the Future when Michael J. Fox gets done playing. He's like, yeah, you guys don't get that right now, but your kids will. And that's where we are. We didn't get all this stuff, but our kids will. Oh, man.
So currently at launch, it's launching with Super Mario Kart World and the tech demo that they're charging for. That's another thing we ain't talked about yet.
That's, oh my God, that's so stupid.
They're basically giving you Astrobot, but making you pay for it.
Yeah, and this is because Astrobot, I think, does the same thing. Like, it talks about the features of the system,
the
and
controller
the
mostly,
different stuff. Yeah, the controller stuff. I think theirs goes a little maybe more in depth than I think Astrobot probably does. But still, why are we charging for that?
Because we
is
can.
That just not a pack-in game?
Yeah, that's a silly decision. Like
that's an easy slam dunk. Just put it.
They're gonna get more heat over this pack-in game not being free, or system explainer game not being free than is worth what they're gonna make selling it for $6 or whatever it is.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's $50.
No, they already said the price. I thought they said it was like $6.
Yeah.
Did they say the price? I haven't seen the price.
$10.
What's that?
It's under $10.
I ain't paying $6.
I'd pay under $10 for it, I guess.
The thing you have to realize.
See, and that's why they charge you.
You're the problem, right? Just like you be coming at me for shit. You're the problem.
Man, if it was $50, no way. But $6,
it don't matter. Nickel and dime is a reason.
That is the Nintendo way.
That does not mean that we should continue to make it
but we do.
Right way.
But we do.
I know.
What's the name of that game real quick? I was going to try to find the actual price.
I don't fucking know the name of it.
I don't know because it's not called I don't. It has a weird name.
I'm looking through the news here. I'm trying to find it, but I don't.
They did this with the Switch, and they charged full price for it with 1-2 Switch.
Wait, is that what that was? I thought that
Welcome
game was
Tour. Welcome Tour is what it's
called.
called.
Yeah, I mean, it was a welcome tour essentially on the Switch too, because it used all the aspects of the Switch.
Yeah, the HD Rumble. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So,
wow.
And Nintendo Land was not included with Wii U's unless you bought the deluxe version.
Man, Nintendo Land was great. That had some good games in it.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. The Mario or the Luigi Pac-Man game, that was fun.
Yep.
The thing that someone pointed out, I don't remember who, because it was on Reddit or something, is that, and we don't remember it because it didn't happen over here, but Wii Sports was not a pack-in title in Japan.
Yeah, but it was here. That's all I care about.
What? Okay.
By the way. So the welcome tour price revealed, 990 yen, roughly $6.12.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, based on what they've done with everything else, they're definitely not doing a straight.
I'd expect $9.99
translation. So it'll be I'm betting it's going to be $10 probably.
Yeah, $9.99.
The thing that's important to realize is Reggie stepped in. And said you need to include Wii Sports with the Wii. Miyamoto didn't want to do that, even though he wasn't president. They had to involve Iwata and basically allow that to happen. Because Reggie understood that you need to basically give people something to play immediately to kind of explain how the system worked. And now I get it, you don't really need that with the Switch 2, but I mean, they didn't do it with the Switch either. 1-2 Switch would have probably gotten a lot better of a name if it was just included with the Switch. And that game was $50.
Speaking of nickel and diming, can we also talk about how the SD cards from the Switch 1 don't work with the Switch 2?
Yeah, but I mean, yes, that is correct, but that's no different than PlayStation and Xbox this generation. Everybody's switching to faster storage.
Sure, but it still sucks.
Well, it's it's sucked the whole generation. But at the same time, like at some point, the switch to faster storage get it?
Get it?
The switch to faster storage was going to have to happen. So I've seen people complaining about that. That's like the least thing worthy of complaint, I thought, out of the presentation. Like, I already have an Express card in my Switch 1.
So I'm looking for a
I
list.
also have an Express card in my Steam Deck too, because they move much faster.
I don't know
So,
if I have
okay.
one of those or not.
I don't know if I don't think I do, actually.
I'd have to take it out of
It's
my
fancy,
Switch to
motherfucker.
see. I was trying to. So I want to go back to the games here real quick. So it was Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Metroid Prime 4, Welcome Tour. Am I missing a first-party game in here? Kirby Air Riders. Sorry, I forgot that one.
Yep, Kirby Air Riders.
But only
Did you say the
Mario.
Zeldas?
No, there was no Zeldas. But only 2 of those are launch. And it's Mario Kart and Welcome Tour. And then they announced some third-party exclusives, including Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment.
Yeah, which looks awesome.
The Dusk Bloods, which is the new game from Software. Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster. Am I missing anything as I'm trying to look through this list?
You're talking about brand new stuff?
Yeah, new games.
Oh, okay, because I missed that when you said it. Because I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? There were no Zeldas. But okay, I got you. It makes sense. All
Yeah,
right.
like new games. So my point in all of this is saying Switch 2 launch kind of sucks. Like Mario Kart is going to be awesome. I have no doubt about that.
That's why it's the most expensive one.
But that's it. Like, I don't give a fuck about Welcome Tour. Like, that's not a seller, you know. Like,
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, yeah, Pokemon is later in the fall.
how did
That's
Nintendo,
new. Yeah, but that's the fall.
How did Nintendo airball this? Like, this was a slam dunk. Switch 2, easy.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, Donkey Kong should have been a launch title.
Yeah, and Donkey Kong looked good. I
think that game looks fantastic.
It's just
not
weird
gonna
it's
hear
not
any
Mario.
slander about that game.
It looks really fun. Like, I watched the little deep dive thing. I think I sent y'all the link. I would buy that. I thought it was a launch title, actually.
No, it's not out till July 17th.
Yeah, that's what I'm
refer to
saying.
it
It's
by
a month after
official
launch.
name.
Yeah, but that's 2
Red
games.
Faction Gorilla. Thank you.
2 games in the span of a month and a half. Like, that seems. When you delayed
Yeah, I
your
mean, they're
system
definitely-
launch, you know.
Yeah, they're definitely relying on some of the third-party stuff and the Switch backward compatibility stuff to carry them the first couple months here.
Yeah,
But the Switch backwards
for sure.
compatibility stuff is also up in the air. It's like, I mean, it feels.
Well, I mean the big titles from Switch that are getting the special treatments,
Like the
Zeldas and the Kirby's and
Zeldas
stuff
and
like
the
that.
Kirby
I don't
and
mean
all that.
overall backwards compatibility, although I'm sure that's part of it. But
But I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like as much time as they likely delayed this internally, it feels like it should be bigger than it is, and it's not feeling big.
oh, I disagree with you on that. I have had a bunch of people who aren't hardcore gamers who know that I am into this stuff already ask me about it. Including some folks who didn't have an original Switch. So I think it's definitely a big deal. I do think the launch lineup is light, super light. Light is probably an understatement. But I think, look at how many units the Wii sold just based on Wii Sports. How many people do you know that owned a Wii that only had Wii Sports and maybe Mario Kart?
Oh, sure.
I think you're going to get a lot of people that buy this system specifically for Mario Kart, and it may be a exclusive Mario Kart machine for those people for a while. So I think the launch is going to be significant, but I do think for folks like us who have played all of the rest of this stuff on other systems already, the launch is super light.
Yeah, I'm referring to us as in like we were super stoked for the Switch 2, but now I'm like lukewarm. Like I always try to buy everything at launch, and I will most likely try to buy this at launch too. But like, I'm not as excited as I was.
Yeah, I'm definitely I'm definitely less excited than I would have been if they had like 4 or 5 games at launch. But I'm still excited. I still want to play Mario Kart and Donkey Kong as soon as they come out. So
I mean, my ass is already planning a replay of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom at 60 frames a second. I ain't gonna lie.
I never finished Tears of the Kingdom, so I need to probably. I wonder if saves will transfer.
I was just about to say, I wonder if saves transfer, because I don't think they addressed that.
It should, because they said you could wirelessly
will,
transfer everything from your old system to your new one.
Yeah.
Then yeah, and it's just the same game. You're just getting a patch.
It's literally it's legitimately the same game, because that was another point that we didn't talk about. Is like when you buy the Switch 2 version of Tears of the Kingdom, it's just the Switch 1 version with a download code
with the card. Yep, with the little
the physical version. Yeah.
So it's not even like a all game on the cart, which it's so. The thing that kills me is like I've seen so many people defend a lot of these decisions that Nintendo's making, and I'm just like, man, you can still be excited for something and realize it's kind of shitty.
Right.
Like Welcome Tour being a price at all is kind of shitty. You can be okay with $10. I would probably spend $10 on it, but it's still kind of shitty. Like, you can't go after Microsoft for saying, oh, you bought an Xbox disc, but it's useless because you have to download it, and not give game cards a little shit, too. Like, I don't know, man. It just... I know that every Treehouse stream, they had to turn the chat off because everybody in the chat was just saying, drop the price, drop the price, drop the price.
Yes!
Because you do realize the Switch 2 costs as much as the PS5, right?
Yeah, again, I know I said this in the Discord, but I don't have any problem really with the price of the system itself.
Yet.
I do think the games are too expensive. Well, I mean, anything else from here is going to be our new reality in 2025.
That doesn't make it cool, though.
No, it's not cool, but I blame the fucking administration.
Oh, trust me, I am.
But I mean, $449 is, the way I'm looking at it, is basically right between the bottom end LCD Steam Deck and the OLED version of the Steam Deck. Plus, it comes with a dock that actually improves the performance of the system, which the Steam Deck doesn't. So. For me, for a portable system that does what it looks like this one's going to do, and I know, Ken, you don't give a shit about its portability because you're never going to play it out of the dock.
Nope.
But for people who are, to me, the price comp is more along the lines of the Steam Deck and less along the lines of a PlayStation 5 or a 360 or a Series X.
I agree. I think honestly, Ryan, I think most people agree with you. I think that the drop the price thing was not about the system. It was about the games.
No, they were $80 is expensive.
Yeah, that's really what they were on about.
They know what they're doing
initially. Yeah,
it's Mario Kart. They know exactly what they're doing.
Well, yeah,
that's what I said. Like, yeah, that's why it's the most expensive one.
Yeah.
So yeah,
100%.
Well, and they did. To be fair, they did that last gen too, because Zelda was more expensive.
Zelda was $70. Yeah.
I was about to say. So when Zelda comes out, it's going to be $80, and when Mario Odyssey 2 comes out, it'll be $80. Which is why I really think we're going to see $100 GTA.
Oh, GTA is at least going to be GTA is at least going to be $80, if not $90 to $100.
At least $80. I could see $89.99, or $99.99. Excuse me. I don't know.
You know how they'll get away with that though on
Shark
the GTA
cards.
side. Yep, they'll include in-game currency with it. So you just won't be able to buy a version of GTA that doesn't include a bunch of virtual currency that you may or may not ever use.
Yep.
That's the way they'll get away with the price on
Good.
GTA.
As
Good
Anthony
call.
as Anthony eloquently put it earlier, hope y'all are happy. You got what you wanted.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, I think some of the noise about game prices has been a response to requests to increase pay and working conditions in the industry, right? And you know, a lot of people's first response is, "We'll just raise the prices so that the devs get more money." The problem is that's not the way it works.
Yeah, you could just raising the price just puts more money in the CEO pockets. Instead, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, Luigi his ass.
Well,
Oh shoot!
No.
Is there a nice way to do that?
No. No. But it's like these people get bonuses regardless, and you're letting go of people, and then your CEO makes a bunch of money. Oh, he got a bonus for saving us a bunch of money by basically ruining lives. Fuck him. So just to put this in perspective right now, Hudson's Bay Company has been a staple of Canada over 100 years. They had a flagship store called The Bay. You can guess why they'd call it that. Then they changed it to Hudson's Bay. They're closing most stores. The CEO, owner, whatever, will get money. They've got money set aside for other board members to stay on while they're closing, right? So not everybody can abandon ship is essentially what they're trying to do. But if you've worked there for decades, you get no severance. There's no benefit to stay for all the people on the bottom who are getting screwed, and the company is quote unquote bankrupt, except that the people in charge are not. It's shit like that. That's where the problem lies. It's not, hey, we need to pay people more, which you do, fair enough. You also need to pay CEOs less because they seem to make it out of all this just fine. Even though ultimately they're the ones that say, well, I make jobs. Then you lost jobs. So it's your fault. You're the incompetent one. And that's where we need to put the blame on. I'm tired of kind of the whole, well, I'll take the brunt of the cost so these people can be paid more. No. We need to pay people who think they're important less, because they're just not. They're not the people that make the games. They don't have a job if the people that are making games don't make games anymore. That's the reality of it. So, there's your little socialism lesson. Fucking seize the means of production. Fuck. Like, I don't know why we'd put that on the customer who's also getting screwed by some CEO somewhere. How does it make any fucking sense? So, anyways.
All right.
La-di-da.
I'm going to move on because we've got a ton of messages and emails to get through.
Oh, wow. Oh, good. Okay.
So I'll go over to Blue Sky because for some reason Blue Sky was bumping this week. Twitter is dead. I've got a ton of Blue Sky messages. The Blue Apple on Blue Sky is skeeting at us. First off, he says, how do you say this? I don't want to butcher this. The Eid Mubarak. How do you say that?
I don't know. One more.
I don't know the official pronunciation.
Okay.
Eid Mubarak is how I would say it, but I have no idea if that's right.
Okay. Well, he says that, so thank you. All right. He has a string of messages here. A lot of it has to do with the tariffs, so we'll just kind of, like, I'm not an economist, so I'll just... he says, how would the new tariff affect the gaming industry? Do you think game development jobs will come back to the U.S.? Do you think we will get an American-made console? Do you plan? Well, we already have one. Do you plan to import your games or game consoles? Do you think about moving to Japan?
No, I don't think about moving to Japan.
No.
And you're going to see, I think, more protectionist behavior from some of the other countries like Japan. So even I think you're going to have a hard time importing your consoles because this tariff is a fee to the importer. So you'll end up having to pay more even if you import them from another country. That's the whole point of the tariff.
So basically, you'd be charged extra when you import it, whether you're a business or not.
Right. And I mean, the second thing is, I think not to get too political here, but the fundamental misunderstanding that people have all this stuff with respect to the bring the jobs back to the United States thing is that, A, we don't have the infrastructure to do that, at least not in the short term. B, most of the manufacturing jobs that we lost here weren't overseas losses. They were because of automation, because factories don't need people to produce at the levels that they produce at now, at least don't need as many people. And C, even if you decide that, even if you could snap your fingers tomorrow and have the factories that you need and employ all the people that you need, all the components come from different places. It's not like Nintendo is making this console in Japan with all Japanese sourced parts, right? The parts for this stuff come from all over the world. I mentioned already that China and Vietnam are both pieces of the supply chain that feed into the console manufacturing for the Switch, but there's a bunch of other places too. If you look at an Xbox, right, it's not as if all the components and the pieces that make up those components in an Xbox are all American. Like they're sourced from all over the world. So it's I think a little naive to assume that, well, it's fine if we don't get anything from anybody else. We'll just do it all here. I mean, that's the reason you end up with fucking 30% tariffs on Madagascar, where we've decided we have a trade deficit with Madagascar because we get a ton of our nickel and vanilla from Madagascar. Meanwhile, their average annual salary is like $500. And we wonder why they're not buying as much from us as we're buying from them. Like the whole thing completely misses the point of global trade. And it's all so haphazardly instituted anyway. No one even knows what this thing's going to look like in 3 months, right? So no one's going to invest the time, equity, and materials it would require to rebuild manufacturing here when this thing has had the start and stop nature that it's had so far. It's just, I think
who knows what's going to happen
all of that would require a level of sophistication that wasn't present when these things were rolled out.
And yeah, like if you had said tariffs are going to be here within 4 years, it gives companies a bit of time. But by doing this, and this kind of rolls back to what I just said, they're not going to eat that cost.
No.
Why would they eat that cost?
No. That's, I mean, the cost is borne on the people that are importing it.
Well, but what I'm saying is, but they're going to pass that cost along to you. Like, they're not fucking eating that. And so we're back into the scenario that I was just talking about, where the CEO is doing their best to make sure the wealth that they've hoarded, because they're all fucking dragons. Talk about lizard people, the fucking dragons hoarding gold. They're going to make sure that theirs isn't touched. You're only seeing pushback right now because the stock market is fucking crashing.
That's what I said.
That fucks up their wealth.
There are unfortunately straight white people, and I'm allowed to say this because I'm a straight white person, although one of the exceptions with regard to what I'm about to say. Straight white people have proven in the history of our country that we are much more willing to tolerate people's human rights being taken away than we are people fucking with our money. Mm-hmm. And right now, you got a lot of people pissed because their money's getting fucked with.
Yeah, people are fucking with their money.
Yeah, right. So yeah, no, I mean, I can appreciate the context of the question. I think it's as likely that this whole thing spurns some sort of American manufacturing renaissance, as it is that it's much more likely that the whole thing just kind of goes up in smoke in the next 2 months. It's impossible to reverse the impact of, what are we up now? 80 years of post-World War II globalization in 2 months, just because you want to, and because you think that goddamn penguins are ripping us off.
I think a lot more of his questions here we've kind of answered already, but I'll go ahead and read through them and we can kind of one-off them. But he says, do you think like Nintendo or Sony, and I guess in my own opinion, Microsoft will raise the price of their consoles and games? Are we going into a depression or a game crash worse than 1983? How can we preserve games with all the DRM and online services? And honestly, to that question, I do think if this stuff sticks, Xboxes and PlayStations will also go up in price.
For sure, 100%.
I don't think there's going to be a game crash because there's just too many games, and that may be the crash in and of itself where we go back to.
Well, and you got to remember, people like to make comparisons to that game crash too, but games occupied a much, much different space in our culture in the early 80s than they occupy now. I mean, you've got billion-dollar movie franchises spawned off of video games at this point. Games are a much more sort of load-bearing pillar in our cultural makeup, not just here but around the world, than they were 40 years ago. Everything crashed 40 years ago because games were really just thought of as, children's toys. And when half the children's toys don't work the way you expect them to, and they're expensive as shit, people stop buying them. And that's just not the market condition that we're playing with in 2025 as it relates to the video game industry.
Yeah, I don't think there's a crash incoming. I think
that said, that what you probably will see is a lot more shit getting more expensive, and probably a shift to reduce development costs, make smaller games, and fill the ecosystem that way.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I think it's not a crash as in it's going to go away. It's going to change the course of what it is today.
Sure. Yep.
Just kind of going through the rest of these. I think we've answered a lot of this stuff. Like, do you think games will differ in price by country? Absolutely, because not every country has 100%. The same tariffs.
Yep.
We already talked about like sourcing from different areas, like China and Japan and Korean and stuff like that. What else we got here? Yeah, I'm not going to read that question. Sorry. So I'm going to move on to the next question. It comes from Justin. He says, I love everything. So I asked him, and when I messaged out, like, what do you think about Nintendo Switch 2? He says, I love everything about it, even the silly camera games and Mario Party. I hope WarioWare uses that next time. I'll be buying it all on day one here in Canada. You got some money, sir.
It is an interesting point, and one that I hadn't considered is how the camera is going to be more broadly used than just the chat that they're showing, or whether or not, I'll say, the camera is going to be more broadly used than just the chat stuff that they're showing. That is an interesting wrinkle that I hadn't really thought of.
Settled Falcon says, the Wombat has a lovely singing voice. He can really hit those high notes. Can you please sing Staying Alive by the Bee Gees?
I'm gonna have to spin up a cameo for stuff like that. I don't think the broader public wants to hear me sing. He's gonna make
a cameo just for the Evangelion.
That, yeah.
He also says, what is your favorite Nintendo memory? Mine is when I first beat Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. That end-credit scene music was special.
It's a great game. Very hard.
Great game. Man, I have a lot, truly, but...
Yeah, I can't narrow it down to one.
So did he say, sorry, specifically to Nintendo?
Yeah, specifically Nintendo memory.
Yeah, I mean, probably... I'll I'll say a couple. Star Road on Super Mario World.
Ooh, yeah.
Discovering that for the first time and sort of all the different levels and stuff that were within that. And then the first time, two that are connected. The first time I saw Super Mario 64 in motion, and the first time I actually got to play Super Mario 64. And I just remember a feeling that I have rarely felt in video games since. Like the awe that came along with like him running and sliding a little bit when he turns sharply backwards and doing the flip jumps and all that stuff. I just remember being completely blown away by the way that game played. And knowing that you want to talk about a killer app. I played that game once and was immediately like, this is the greatest thing I've ever played. I have to own this. And didn't end up getting a 64 until like 2 years later, but that's a different story.
Yeah, it's funny that Mario 64 is kind of the same for me because it's like everybody knows Gambus Khan, and we drove.
Maybe not anymore.
That's true. He's been off the show so long you may not know him, but he and I drove up to Toys R Us because they had the demo units, and we would go every day after school and play that fucking game and just be like, oh my god, this is a revolution. Like this is like one of the greatest things ever made. Like, that game did something to where Nintendo literally only had to... I mean, we joke about it now, but Nintendo had to launch with 2 games. But it didn't matter, because one of them was Mario 64.
Yep.
Oh. Terrence, you have anything for Nintendo?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I don't. I was sitting here thinking, for real, I guess the only real Nintendo memory I have is just the memory of getting my first one, like the first NES. Because I had to get on the honor roll in school, and I remember coming back with because my grandfather told me, he was like, "Yeah, if you do this, I'll get this for you." And I'm like, "All right, bet." So I got on the honor roll and I brought my report card to him, and he took me to Circuit City. That's how old I am. We went to Circuit City over on Ridge Road, and he got me the Nintendo. And then this nigga, so we got home and hooked it up, and this nigga done literally played for an hour playing Duck Hunt. Loved Duck Hunt. Like, that was his game. And I mean, he was, damn. Like, he from the South anyway, so, guns and shit, that's what they was doing. But yeah, no, I couldn't do Duck Hunt for nothing. But yeah, he loved that game. But yeah, that's really the only Nintendo memory because I played those, the games and stuff like that, but I don't think I really bought any Nintendo system at launch.
Damn, they had Circuit City back then?
Yeah, man. That's where mine came from.
Crazy. I did not know that. I got mine at Hills.
I got mine at KB Toys.
Oh god.
I remember KB Toys.
Yeah. Good old KB Toys. The aisles were like 2 feet wide.
Yep.
Stacked from floor to ceiling with shit.
Yep.
All right.
So since Ken made reference to it and Ken's not allowed to answer, does anybody know what the other North American launch title for the Nintendo 64 was?
Pilot Wings.
Yeah. That's
game
correct.
Dear to my heart.
Pilot Wings 64 was a boomer, man. That game was awesome.
Yep.
Overshadowed like a motherfucker, though.
The first one, also a launch title.
Yes. I actually got that game with my Super Nintendo.
Why the fuck didn't they give us a Pilot Wings at launch for this system? God.
Yeah.
All right, a couple emails, then we'll get out of here. The first email.
Mine? All right.
Oh, I thought you said that you couldn't pin one down.
Yeah, I mean, I will say one that's a little weird because it's not really. I had borrowed a cheat book from a friend and found out about Game & Watch Gallery. I'd never really heard about it. I knew Game & Watch because obviously he was in Smash Brothers, but like I didn't know any of the games, and I wanted to find a copy of it, and I ended up finding a copy, and I love those games. Like how simplistic they are. I played Mario Cement Factory till I couldn't anymore. I had like maxed out the score. I just loved those games so much. It was like the first time I got to see actually any of those in working condition, I guess, even though they're not the originals. I love that series so much, and it was just like, oh, okay, this is exactly. I understood the mindset, I guess, kind of behind Nintendo games, like just simplistic fun. Because I played. The other one I have is because I didn't have an NES in the house. It's the only console we've just never had in the house. So when I saw Super Mario Brothers 3 for the first time on NES, I thought something was wrong. Because I'm like, this is not how I remember it. Because I'd only ever played the Super Mario Brothers 3 on the Super Mario All-Stars.
Super Mario All-Stars, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Like, that was the first time I'd ever seen an NES.
Wow, that's crazy to me.
Well, my people my age, like, a lot of people didn't even have consoles in the house, so their first console was a PlayStation or N64.
Whew.
I was
my first real experience, I'll say, with video games breaking containment, meaning not just some shit that me and my nerd friends talked about at school, was Tetris on the Game Boy.
That thing was monster.
And how many of my older family members not just bought Game Boys to play Tetris, but got hopelessly addicted to Tetris on the Game Boy. I'm talking, 50, 60-year-old people. Yeah, see, there you go. And Anthony didn't even make you pay for a cameo. That's another Nintendo memory that's stuck in my head is just the way I felt about all of my older relatives getting obsessed with Game Boy.
I got one more, man. And it was because of how very different it was. I played Wario Land 1, and putting in Wario Land 2 where he's suddenly invincible and stuff like that, like in terms of like just a game basis, like that was kind of mind-blowing to me because you got hurt in video games. That was kind of the reality of it. Unless it was like not an action game, but that wasn't what that was, right? But you could still hurt enemies, but enemies really couldn't hurt Wario. They would just knock coins out of him. It was a very different experience. I remember that one because it was like I got it before we went on a trip, so I would shut up during the car ride.
All right, 2 emails, then we'll go. First email comes from Antonio, and it is titled "Black Men Can't Jump." He says, "Been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed, and here are my non-spoiler thoughts. Yasuke is not as fun to play, but I completely understand why. Samurais weren't known to be agile, acrobatic sleuths. I find him most useful to clear castles, especially the larger ones, and during daylight. As usual with these types of games, 90% of my playtime is side stuff and exploring, which is why I have so much good gear and materials early into the game. I mostly run around as Naue, because she obviously knows how to jump and has a grappling hook. Plus, I like her weapons a lot more than Yasuke's. I typically play games in 60 FPS, and I'm not a graphics snob, but I felt there was a big enough difference in how it looked that I decided to play in 30 FPS. He is not incorrect. That game is much better looking in the fidelity modes. Although if you have a 120 Hz TV, I recommend the 40 mode.
Yeah, it looks
nice.
good. It's a nice split of the difference, and you get 40 FPS.
It's so funny and such a good illustration of what they've done with this game. That he says that Yasuke is his choice for clearing out castles because it's completely the opposite for me. I always use Naue to clear out the castles.
Really?
Stealth around and pick people off and pick off the daimyos so I can loot the treasure chest. And it's I think a good illustration of what they've done successfully with this game, which is the two characters here really do feel like change of pace characters. Meaning if you're getting tired of sneaking around, you can switch to Yasuke and not worry about sneaking around at all because he's, as Terrence put it, a bull in a china shop.
Mhm.
And if you get
I
tired of
think you
that
mean
play
a bull
style,
in a
you can sneak
Japan
it.
shop. Thank you very much.
Well,
Get
yeah,
it?
there is that.
Get it?
Get it?
Get it? Blueprints like a house. um, but I think that's a pretty neat accomplishment and a great way to incorporate multiple characters. Where if you're going to have multiple playable characters, make them so wildly different that there's actually a reason to switch between them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's stuff, I don't know if y'all come across that, where you have to use
Yeah,
one or the other to get past. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do like the change of pace. And that's because I use Yasuke for the same way. Like if I want to clear out a castle, or if I just got tired of like doing, because when I was finishing up the ring of, string of assassinations, on some of those, they give you the option. Some of them you have to play as one person
Yeah.
versus the other. But like, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of stealthing killing somebody. I'm just trying to fuck everybody up. Like I picked Yasuke and just picked the fight.
Yeah,
You
he's
know,
awesome for boss fights.
Absolutely. Like, yeah. So yeah, it is, like you said, it is definitely nice that they made them so wildly different that you can have that kind of change of pace character for sure.
And then finally he says, anyways, any of you going to pre-order a Switch 2? Going to take the day off and refresh Twitter every 30 seconds? That's how I snagged my day one PS5. Joke was on me, though, because Amazon pre-orders didn't go live until around 11 at night East Coast time, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Yeah,
Oh.
I got my PlayStation 5 through Amazon on
Yep.
day one, pre-order. I'm gonna try to pre-order one as soon as assuming we're actually allowed to have pre-orders in America.
Yeah, me too.
Not me. I'm cool. Like I said, they didn't show me anything. I mean, it definitely didn't come at launch that I want. But I will probably get one in the fall because I definitely want the new Pokemon game. And since it's going to be, I may get one for Donkey Kong. But I think honestly, I'll end up waiting till the fall and just get it for
I'm
Pokemon
in no rush.
comes out. Yeah.
This is a big. Everybody in my house is excited for Mario Kart. So.
I mean,
oh, see, yeah. If my kids were still here, I probably would have to get that because but everybody is kind of, they're grown and doing their own things now, so they might get one. Actually,
we didn't, by the way, spend any time talking about Mario Kart.
I mean,
we didn't, and it looks good.
It looks good. I mean, it's Mario Kart. It's going to probably be a banger.
Well, but it's not just Mario Kart. It's open world Mario Kart.
Yeah, which is neat.
With free drive between tracks. And an open world free roam mode.
Basically, it's Mario Kart Horizon, is what it is.
Yeah, basically.
Or that Lego game, Lego Drive, because it was like that.
Moo Moo Meadows cow. Conversation over.
Yeah, you can drive as the Moo Moo Meadows cow.
And he got in Mario Kart before Professor Egad. Fuck out of here.
It's a cow.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, come on, man.
I didn't mean to gender shame the cow. I apologize.
No, it looks. I mean, Mario Kart looks pretty freaking awesome.
I think you're in utter confusion. Get it?
I
didn't see. You get it? Blueprints. I didn't see any explanation, and I didn't watch all of the extra content. I didn't see any explanation about the costume switching.
Costumes?
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see that either.
I think so. My understanding is there are special abilities that change you. I think that might be how the cow works too. I'm not sure though. Because at one point somebody turned into a full-on truck.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Fucking Nintendo always trying to milk everything.
Get it, cow? God. Get it? Blueprints.
Jesus
the thing
Christ.
that has.
All right.
Moving on. Last email comes from our good friend Peter. He says, hey guys, looking forward to the Switch 2 launch. They are opening a Nintendo store here in San Francisco on May 15th, and I'm considering going for the launch. I saw somebody was already in line for the launch in New York. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you're doing a lot.
Three-time millionaire.
Yes. Right. That's maidenless behavior. Come on now. That's months of what are we doing? Come on. Jesus.
He says, although it's going to be a shit show, looking forward to the new games and exploring the back catalog of original Switch games. I have some news for you.
Well, Pete's one of the guys that I mentioned before that never had an original Switch.
Gotcha.
So
Oh,
he's got a whole bunch of stuff that he can play.
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe.
Thank you.
Well, depending on what, you know.
Kane.
He says, I finally beat Donkey Kong Land 2, and I've started 3. So far, it's a lot of fun. It has a killer soundtrack for a Game Boy game. I've been playing Puzzle Fighter 2 a lot. Love that game. Everybody should love that game. That game is fucking
Great game.
So good. My daughters have been really into Marvel vs. Capcom. We've been playing that on my Arcade Legends joystick. It's janky but fun to have an arcade feel at home.
Take you for a ride.
I bought an Anbernic RG35XX SP, which is a Game Boy Advance SP form factor emulator that plays up to PS1 and some Dreamcast. Nice little device.
I'm not gonna lie. Go ahead.
I was going to say, a nice little device that fits in your pocket. It was only $39 on AliExpress. What were you going to say?
Oh. Well, when you were rattling off all them letters and stuff, I was like, oh my God, this sounds like the thing that Marvin the Martian uses to destroy Earth. Like, what are we doing?
Or it's a TV model
he sent
number.
me pictures of this thing, and it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got the
It
pictures
does look
in
like
the
a
email.
Game Boy Advance SP.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot of that thing I reviewed. I don't remember what it was called. It was a Ken Hank thing. And yeah, it runs up to like it runs some Dreamcast stuff okay. But PlayStation and down, it's perfectly serviceable. The one I reviewed is shaped like a regular Game Boy with the triggers on the back. He says, regarding the show's production quality improvement, it's mainly in the audio. The mics are better now. As for 2021 Chipperkin, you just sound happier, more positive when Drew's around. The rest of the guys are more or less the same, just younger. I love the show. I love you guys. Peter. P.S. I wish I had time to play games like you guys, and wish I had even more time. I wish even more that I had a crew like yours that I could talk to every week about games. Shout out to Ryan. I'm grateful for our friendship and you introducing me to the show. Terrence, I love your passion and artist vibes. Anthony, thank you. I appreciate your weebiness and the rabbit holes you drag us down.
Oh. I've been called worse on this show.
He says, Ken, it's pretty clear that you're the godfather and that there would be no show without you. Thank you, you're the man.
You're old.
Yeah, that's really what that word means. You're old.
Hey, Ken, thanks for being the pillar, and by that I mean just the structure that's been here since the dawn of time.
was making radio internet shows before there were Apple iTunes. What you're talking about? You can fathom a world.
Pete, when your girls get a little older, you'll have more time.
Yes, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
you look at Drew right now. Drew is like a ghost because he's got a little baby.
I know that from my Instagram DMs. Good God, that man has he'll because he only has seconds, right? So he's just watching shit on Instagram, and then he sends me just unhinged shit sometimes.
Yeah, but he's always done that.
He has, but it's increased.
Yeah, it's different when your babies are little, and then when they get to be teenagers, you're just like, whatever. What are they doing? I don't know. Whatever.
He can't be frustrated fury anymore. He's too sleepy for that.
It's true.
Facts.
But anyway, that's it. That's the show for this week. That was a lot.
It was a lot.
Send us emails, podcast@ztgd.com. Let us know how you feel about the Switch. What are you gonna get one? Like, do you think you're gonna be able to get one? Like, I wonder if like the only positive of the high price is like maybe I can sneak a pre-order in, because maybe not as many people are buying them. But I know that's a crazy thought.
Yeah, I think Mario Kart is gonna be. It's probably. I don't think it's gonna be the same level as the Wii Sports hysteria. But I think there's a lot of folks who, aren't hardcore gamers that are going to dip in for Mario Kart.
Yep.
Especially if it ends up as good as it looks like it's going to be.
I'm very curious how these pre-orders are going to go, and I'm very curious. We joked about it on the show, but it's 100% true. When you're listening to this, shit may have changed drastically.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what's
We
going to
might
happen
all
Monday
sound
morning?
like idiots right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Monday morning
even
could
more
be
than
a
we
totally
used to.
different day.
Alrighty. And it goes something
It's
like
just like
this.
the weather here in Ohio, because it's fucking cold now. We have to turn the heat back on. Like,
Yeah,
what? What are we doing?
To be fair, the weather here in Ohio for the last week has just been rain.
Yeah. We had
True.
one day of, like, real bad storms, and then, like, at least you don't live in Arkansas. I know you guys don't watch the weather like I do.
Story.
But, dude, Arkansas has, like, been hit by tornadoes for, like, 6 straight days.
Yeah.
No offense to any of our friends in Arkansas, but that's not the primary reason I'm glad I don't live in Arkansas.
That's fair.
Alrighty. And it
That
goes
is
something like
fair.
this.
Also, if you want to tweet or skeet at us, it's, ZTGD Radio on Twitter and Blue Sky. You can send us messages there. We like messages. That's it.
Most of them.
Yeah, most of them. Like, sometimes, you send some things that are a little colorful. But anyway, that's it for this week, unless anybody has anything else. We'll get out of here. Peace, bitches.